What's good, Relocation Football League fans? It's your boy Smitty. Of course, didn't put in the intro video. Forgot to do that from last time when I said I was going to, but it's all good. We'll have that ready to go for next week. But man, hey, it is finally season 6 time officially here, man. Tomorrow starts season 6 of the regular season. As always, I got Bill and I got Rob on the podcast with me. And we're just, ready to dive into these games, talk about the upcoming games. You can see the leading topics. We'll be talking about Marquise Washington, thoughts on him being named the starter, the trades that went down, and so on. But let's go ahead and hop into these games. I didn't have too many games to start out the week in the final week of the preseason here, but it was a lot of great games and a lot of blowouts as the Diablos and the Steamers were the first game of the weekend. It was a great game, came down to the wire, went into overtime, and an amazing play at the end to cap it off with the touchdown with the last second throw before taking a sack by Santana, getting that one off to Tyler Lucero, who just seems to always just make the plays so far this year in the preseason. And then they end up winning the game 29-23. So what's your takeaways and thoughts on this game here, Bill?
I thought it was an exciting game to watch, man. I for a minute it looked like the Steamers were actually going to sort of pull away because they opened up with the touchdown, then they got the safety, and next thing you know it's 9-0. But the Diablos fought back. I liked what I saw from the Diablos, and yeah, I just thought it was a great game. And the real thing I was wanted to touch on was Lucero. Obviously we know that the Diablos battled back, forced the overtime, and then there was that amazing pass from Santana to Tyler Lucero. It just came out of nowhere, it seemed, for the game-winning touchdown. But man, that kid has been all over the field this year. He just seems, or this preseason, I should say. Obviously, we haven't played real games yet, but he just seems to be making a case for some more snaps. And I'm just wondering if we got to keep our eye on this guy. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like, Rob, what do you think about Lucero? You think he's going to be playing some more this year?
Yeah, man, I imagine so. If I know Jones, he's always trying to get a young guy, to get some more snaps. Man, he really values players and stuff. So yeah, I think that he is deserving, and I think that Jones is working him into the system. Not exposing him too early, but giving him that opportunity to make plays, and I think he definitely will be joining the starting core as soon as possible. I guess we could say or whatever, man. But yep.
Yeah, you can go ahead. What's your thoughts on this game as a whole here, Rob?
Yeah, just as a whole, man, I thought it was a pretty good game. Good to see Thomas. Had the higher numbers up there. Had the good, the bad, the ugly. I guess is what we got to call it or whatever. I'm really liking this guy Duncan as well. I see the numbers on him, and I just think that these I really like the Steamers an awful lot. And I like what I'm seeing. They got a lot of guys to talk about, but sometimes I kind of gravitate more toward the teams who haven't had coaches or consistent coaches. And so obviously the Diablos are one of those teams on my radar right now. And just seeing what coach is able to do, with specific players, man, that we've been watching, and maybe some of those players haven't really gotten their fair share of activity because of the AI being limited and because coaches haven't been there consistently, or just coaches destroying the team altogether. Shots fired. Rest in peace. But yeah, man, I'm really
Bell
happy
didn't play for
just
some
to
reason.
see you put a bell there. Okay, great.
I tried to, but it didn't.
Oh,
I don't know why it didn't work. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, man. I'm really happy to see what Coach Forbes is able to do, and overall, just a solid game.
Yeah, a lot of key points and takeaways from this game in terms of like the preseason as a whole. I think this is a good thing that we could do for these teams. Just talk about certain players that we felt stood out in the teams as we recap this. Talking about the Diablos, Parker Thomas, he looked like a rookie coming out of Ohio State. You
Right.
saw, the mistakes that he's made. He's 2 interceptions. He still has that turnover problem that you saw in his college days in the first college series. And then, Rashad Duncan, he's been doing this all preseason. He's been doing it during the regular season since last year when he was picked up. And you can see he had even over 100 yards receiving in the game and 79 yards on the ground off of just 10 carries. Just a very consistent back, a great backup for their young running back, Madison Axel. I really feel that the Diablos definitely got some key pieces. We've already seen also, what Aaron Pritchett looks like when he's, out there starting, slinging a rock. I mean, this team, it looks like they're prepared. They're ready to go for the season and everything else. So a lot of great things, though. out of the depth and the backups of this Diablos team. As for the Steamers, this is a young, talented team that we know has depth. We saw some great things, especially out of Tyler Lucero, like we mentioned, made big plays all preseason. You can see the development from him since last year. Hooper Santana, I think, played pretty good, showing off what he brings to the table. I think the biggest highlight, though, for the Steamers on what they brought this year in the preseason, Jim, is T.J. Jones. T.J. Jones, man's got hands like stones, though. He can't catch anything. You got to call him Stone Jones. So that's a bad name to have, but I guess we're going to be rolling with it. But TJ, other than that, you take the catching problem away. This guy's a monster on the ground, consistently, finding the right lanes, gripping off huge yards, and tough to bring down. Straight north-south runner, doesn't go to the sides or try to do anything, try to get too flashy. Just a back for the future, and you can see the huge development from last year with him in the backfield compared to the first season, where I can remember, like I said, Coach Jones went and started Calhoun over him. He felt he was better and everything, and he had a higher overall, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, than he did. Calhoun was a great back, by the way, but just the development to see how he attacks the hole and just the way he's playing at this level. It doesn't matter if it was the backups or not. I've seen him come in with starters even during this preseason at times, and he's just been putting on a show. So I think that's a great back to have that's going to be taken over for the future, I believe, for Myles Kerrigan, the 30-year-old back who's going to be out of there and probably, I wouldn't say soon, but, up there in age. Not sure if he's going to hang around. And Jones, I think, is the guy. So that's a key piece for them. It's a great game overall, though. Great game. Moving on to the next game. This was one of the very many blowouts that we had in this final preseason week, as the Condors, I want to say that this was more so a blowout due to the fact that, this was a game that really put that there's levels to this. Because the minute that Chase McCoy came back in the game after the injury, I guess it's not a bad word. I guess all hell broke loose. I think that's acceptable. All hell broke loose. Acceptable. Chase McCoy absolutely just dominated. Dude tied a record in the preseason for the most touchdown passes and ended up beating the Shamrocks 59-28.
Hey, hold up, Bill, real quick. Smitty, this is one of them games, man, where you like the old guys say down south, they go, ooh, just beat her that bad, man.
Yeah, that was a whooping. Let's play the bell, actually.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, man, actually, this is way off topic, but I had to say something. You got to bell yourself, bro. You forgot the intro, man. Come on. You got to give yourself the bell here.
I'll take the bell.
You take the bell. Thank you very much. Anyway, I want to put out here that before I say what I'm about to say, I already discounted the McCoy coming in after the starters had left. Okay, I'm basing this more so off of just the feel of the offense that I thought from the get-go in the first quarter, and when he wasn't just beating up on poor practice squad guys. Okay, I just really like the way the offense is going for the Condors. Last year, really even the season before that, they've had a very rough go of it. They have not found great success. They've been inconsistent. McCoy's been inconsistent. They couldn't establish a run game much last year. But this year, I feel like they have the right tools. They didn't do a whole lot of changes, but, they made some moves that I think are really going to bring out the best in Chase McCoy. And if so, the offense could be pretty good. They bring in Sanchez Lawrence from the Crusaders, and you can see that he is going to be a guy that they're going to rely on in the run game, because they don't feel that Bookie Johnson can make the type of, carry the load, I guess I should say, like you would expect a running back to. And then they bring in Kevin Guyton, the long lost brother of Keith Guyton, for another weapon for McCoy. And I think that this offense has the tools now to really, really start making some noise. I'm still a little concerned about the defense, and they didn't do a whole lot, I think, from the defensive standpoint, but they did bring in Ray Franklin, who I think is going to immediately help with some of the deep shots that they were giving up last year. And in turn, that's going to help the rest of the defense out in the rest of the series, because you're not going to be able to just pick and choose when you want to go deep on these guys with a guy like Franklin in the backfield roaming around. Like I said, I just think that this team is heading in the right direction now offensively. Nickens was a great running back. He'll probably still be a great running back with the Gunners. He just did not fit this system, and it made the team worse and him worse. And I think this year, both of these parties with the Condors and the Gunners with Nickens now are going to be benefiting from being in better systems. And I think the Condors are going to be a lot better. And I was just curious, Rob, am I the only one seeing this, or do you think maybe that the Condors might actually put it together?
Yeah, I think Coach Nick Laramie, man, he's had a couple of bad seasons since I've gotten here. I remember the first year that I got here. I want to say that I hope I'm not capping right now, but I want to say he was like lost every game for the first part of the season or something like that. It was like 6 straight losses or something ridiculous or whatever. And then I think that last year, did he have the same problem last year? Took him a while to get going or whatever, and he finally got going.
Last year they won I believe they only won 3 games.
Yeah.
RFL games, of course. Not many. I think they actually. I don't know why I'm not remembering this off the top of my head, but I know they did not win a lot, and they were up there in I believe top 5 in picks or at number 6. So they really didn't win a lot of games last year. But the games that they did win, I remember they had a solid win against the Crusaders last year. So it's been a rough go for the Condors for the past couple seasons.
Yeah. And I see what he's trying to do, though. He's trying to put together, some pieces here. And right now it's just like a big jigsaw puzzle, man. He's just you got pieces everywhere, and he's getting there, though. He's working around the edges and getting his team together. He still seems to be kind of trying to figure out, who the back is. And trying to get that going. I get it, but he seems to be making some progress there. I like what I saw out of Greer. I thought that was pretty cool. And, another thing too, man, is, like Chase McCoy, man, he gets a lot of a bad rap, man. And I'm not going to lie. Like, Smitty, we used the word levels the other night in the chat, saying, it's levels to this game here, man, and you could say all you want about Chase McCoy, man, but you saw what he did when he stepped up in there, with some guys who weren't all pros, all RFL guys. This guy went to work, man. You can see the numbers there. And this is what I'm saying, like the worst QB and the worst QBs in the RFL will heat you up, man. You know what I mean? Well, and I'm not saying McCoy is the worst QB, but he's kind of a guy who doesn't really get a lot of respect, here in the RFL. And I think that watching him the other night, man, and seeing what he did, like this guy was just on fire. Like luckily the clock stopped, or he might have put up more. He's just acid. And I believe he was throwing the backups, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was throwing the backups.
Yeah.
The main thing is it wasn't even that the clock stopped. He's lucky that old boy checked back in the game. He probably would have threw 7 or more.
Yeah. So I know a lot of guys, and I'm definitely not trying to hamper the prospects. I know prospects want to get older guys out of here and stuff. I get it. But man, this is what a guy, looks like here. This guy's 28 years of age. He's an 87 overall. And this is what he can do to you. You know what I mean? Like this is what he can do to teams, and so yeah, man. I thought that was pretty cool. It was interesting to watch. Rest in peace to the Shamrocks, though. Man, they had it going at first, and then it just got crazy, man. Obviously, when McCoy checked back in, the real McCoy, we're gonna call him, checked in, man. But yeah, great game. Other than that, man, and just always remember it's levels to this here, man.
Yeah, McCoy definitely put that on full display here. Only missed 4 out of 29 passes. You can see there, 300+ passing yards. Already talked about the 6 touchdowns. He got checked in due to the injury that happened to Brady Payson, who they picked up out of free agency. But another thing is the run game, looked a little bit better this game, but I still do feel like the run game is still a bit inconsistent there, and they need to figure out a way to get that going because the season is finally here. Whether it be Sanchez, Lawrence, Pookie Johnson, Brennan Warner, who honestly didn't get a lot of touches until this final game of the season, so we didn't really get to see what he is able to do. That's the rookie that came out of Florida.
Yeah.
So
where in Florida? LSU or Florida?
Warner, I think, went to Bigby was at Florida.
Bigby's Florida.
Yeah, Brennan Warner.
LSU was
Warner was LSU.
Yeah, so
I was gonna tell you that too, Smitty, man. My bad. I was gonna tell you Hey, he looked pretty good on those carries, man.
He did.
Like
He didn't get a
just
lot
over
of
the
touches.
chains.
He didn't get a lot of
Yeah,
touches the prior weeks because it
yeah,
was mainly the Johnson and Sanchez show. But he was
yeah.
still, you can see like they finally give him some touches here. Got over 15 with 16, 65 yards.
Mhm.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it's not the greatest, but still he looked pretty good with those carries that he was able to get. Did still, of course, see some rookie things. Not hitting the hole. Trying to
Mhm.
be a little bit flashy at times, but he still got the job done. I really like you brought up earlier about Price Greer, the tight end, another rookie that they drafted, came out of Oregon from the first college series, and he this performance that you see right here, he put up consistently throughout the preseason. I think he's going to be a solid number 2 tight end behind Antoine Colquitt for the Condors, and even though the Shamrocks as a whole in this game absolutely got schmacked in terms of the score here. 31-point deficit is pretty bad and all, but it was neck and neck the whole way when you had the same level of competition in between the two. And of course, Chase McCoy changed everything, but it was also a bad combination of Tyrone Green throwing
Yeah.
interceptions.
Yeah.
Oh
He,
yeah, he
he
looked
was
terrible.
he was making a lot of big mistakes. I believe he fumbled and threw the 3 picks. And Chase McCoy, you give him those opportunities, he's going to cash out, especially when you don't have a starting unit playing up against them. Once again, showing the levels. A great thing I saw out of the Shamrocks in terms of their running backs was Saeed Gore. Saeed Gore is his second year in the RFL. He runs. We saw that he runs with authority even his rookie year, and he looks like he runs even more powerful this year. He's going to just continue to get even better. And of course, Lester Gatson, he's an old veteran guy here. He's been here since season 2, but I could see Saeed Gore in the future taking on that role, and even this season coming in, like he did last year, a couple of carries whenever Lester's out, and just making things happen for the ground game. So not really too much to talk about with this with the Shamrocks. I like what the starting unit was able to do when they were able to get in during the preseason. We got to see Tom Wilson throw the ball and make some good completions. Looked like he's more in rhythm with his receiver Roland Woods, and that's a good sign for this offense. The defense still looks like it struggles a bit, but we'll have to see come season time, and we'll find out come this week.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm Dublin, right, I am going and hiring as many security details as I can for Tom Wilson. Okay, because if that guy gets hurt,
Oh
man,
boy.
they are
It's
in
over.
some trouble with Green. I'm sorry for any Tyrone Green fans, but that was protect him at all costs. He is the president of everything for the Shamrocks right now.
Yeah, that'll be a key loss. I mean, and that's exactly what the preseason is for, just to show you the depth of teams. And I definitely agree with you. An injury to Tom Wilson will definitely bring this team down. Not no shade really too much to Green. It's only his second year in the
Oh, there's
RFL.
some shade.
Oh no, it's shade definitely, but I mean, like it is his
Don't
second year in the league.
Shade
He's
room.
not the greatest of quarterback. In this situation, he's just not going to be prepared. So it's just, that I can't really fault him all the way for that. Hasn't been in the league long enough. Of course, hasn't developed enough. But yeah, he's not going to be ready for the big times when it's time for him to check in. But moving on to the next game, the T-Birds were able to finish the preseason undefeated, knocking off the Tigers. The Tigers made it a pretty close game. We only got to see the starters in for a quarter. And, the Tigers did a pretty good job. I saw a nice little interception and everything at the beginning of the game. And, everything looked great. You saw LC3 rally back, though, and score back. And I think it was 7-7 before the starters had to check out and everything. But the Thunderbirds defense looked great. Everything was looking great, and the Tigers put up a pretty good fight, but Thunderbirds were able to roll out of there 33-31.
I was actually really impressed with the Tigers in this game because I'm not really counting, like I said, much of the second, third, and fourth quarter, but they hung around with the Thunderbirds and drove on the field on that defense, got themselves a touchdown in the first quarter. I thought they played really well, and going into the second, third, and fourth quarter, I was really impressed with how this team actually battled back because it seemed like the Thunderbirds, every time the Tigers tried to get something moving, they had another turnover, another pick six, something crazy happened that could just kill any team's momentum, especially against the Thunderbirds in Toronto. But every time the Tigers found a way to score over and over and over again, which I thought was really impressive considering the Tigers are a team sort of like, how the Condors are. They have not found, they've had a rough couple of years. And I thought it was really great to see that. And the defense of the Tigers even capitalized. They made LC3 play a little off to some degree. I think he had a pick, an interception, right,
Mhm.
in this game. And to me, I don't know, man. I don't. Rob, tell me if I'm going crazy here, but I think LC3 might have a rough year ahead of him.
Yeah, man. He might. We'll have to see. I'm not gonna say we've been seeing the regression of LC3 over the past few years, but we have really kind of been just waiting around to see if he's gonna ever host up or hold up that trophy ever again, man. Right now, what it was is this year three, or we're going
He's
into where he
we
was it
talking
year
about what?
four?
For
LC3.
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 LC, he's been here for
Since he's
5
been
years.
to. So when's the last time he went to the Reload
Oh,
Bowl?
last time we went to the Reload Bowl was season 4 against the
So
Huskies.
season 4. So we're entering into year 3 here, correct? That he
Yeah.
hasn't so 3 years, and so we'll have to see that there we'll have to see how the season plays out. You can never count him out though, man, but we know that, with the injuries and stuff, he's kind of prone there. But the interesting thing though, man, that I saw in this game is that when you think of the Thunderbirds, right? Like
Mhm.
you think of a team that's just stacked. Like that's the first. I think that's the first word. If you could have an
Yeah.
action word that comes to the Thunderbirds is stacked, and that's not just at the first level. That's at the second string and the third level as well. And to see the Tigers first of all come out like they came out, I think they actually scored first,
Mhm.
and then like Bill, you said, to see them battling back, I thought was really cool. They got more sacks in this game than the Thunderbirds. I think they outpassed them in this game as well. I was looking at the rushing side of things. I don't think they outrushed them, but they had just about the same amount of rushing yards there. The defense was 100% in the red zone, and then they kind of showed us some things. And they've been doing that for a couple of weeks now. Actually, I'm not going to count the Barons loss or whatever, but they have been showing us signs that they are kind of tough, kind of around here, and maybe you shouldn't take them lightly. And so gonna be interesting, seeing how they fare this season. But other than that, I when you think of the Thunderbirds, I'm not looking for them to be 33-31 against the Tigers in in preseason. And I start kind of like going crazy and kind of trying to conceptualize this, because didn't the Barons blow out the Tigers or something like that? What was it? I don't
Yeah.
remember the score of
It was
that.
like it was 24-7,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Barons played no starters, and the Tigers did.
Right. And so
Yeah.
then I come to this week and I'm seeing the Thunderbirds, who I'm pretty sure they're more stacked than the Barons right now.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a close game, right? And so Smitty, me and you like to debate this all the time, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't have any faith in the AI. I have zero faith in the AI, man. And I think that right now the AI is skating on thin ice here in Toronto, man.
Yeah, so in terms of my breakdown of this game, the way I feel about it is, in terms of LC3 regressing, I don't really see that. I think the issue is it comes down to, first of all, the first game that they did have in the preseason. We saw they only had 2 preseason games. That first offensive game, they had a playbook geared more towards the read option, so we really didn't get to see what LC3 could do in a book that didn't just run him down into the ground until this game. So the first game, I could say, we could put the offensive performance behind that. He still killed it on the ground. But this game right here, he had the 1 interception, but I still don't feel like in any shape or form LC3 is washed. He's still a threat heavily, scrambling. We saw that on display a little bit, not as much as we usually do, like throughout an entire game. The guy only got to play 1 quarter at that, and the way he responded back after the interception is what you want to see out of LC3. The backups came in, and it was just a great performance by the Tigers. And I have to give it to the Tigers. They did stay within this game, and they did play well against the Thunderbirds backups. But I also feel like the main reason on why this game was probably more closer also is because we forget that the second-hand unit offensively for the Thunderbirds is not good at all with the backup quarterback. Another thing about that is, with Connor Hand coming in, You see, he didn't lose the football, didn't throw any interceptions or anything, but he couldn't get the offense going. This is the biggest issue with this team. If they lose LC3, what do they have? They don't really have anything going. You got backups. They already don't have receivers. So who is Connor Hand out there throwing to? So they're not going to be able to score offensively. Throughout this game, they scored, I believe, 2 touchdowns defensively. So most of their points, about half of their points came from the defensive side of the ball. And then points that they did score off of came off of the defense forcing turnovers as well to give them great field position. So I honestly feel like that's one of the biggest things on full display that was shown here in this game, was just the fact that the Thunderbirds offense is definitely a big question mark right now. The backups are definitely a big question mark. That's the last area that they need injuries to this season, is injuries to the offense, no matter where it's at, offensive line, especially wide receiver, especially quarterback. They're not going to get things going. Clifton General looked pretty decent running the football as well, as you can see from the decent numbers right there. But I also just think it was just a great game with the Tigers being able to, move against the defense and play up against an offense that wasn't on an equal level as them, with those backups in. So I feel like that's a main reason on why this game was a lot more closer. It's also a preseason game, with these backups in. So, this isn't really what we're going to see out of a real game. I honestly feel like the Thunderbirds, had their starters in an entire game, they were in, and I saw the starters were able to fight back and get the touchdown and everything the first drive, but you saw how quick the offense was able to get themselves right back into the game. LC3 was able to get down the field and everything. Defense was sharp. So I definitely have to give kudos to both teams, but my whole takeaway from the Thunderbirds here is just this offense. It's just not nowhere near the level of where it used to be. Like I said, an injury is going to really hurt this team this year, no matter where it's at on the offensive side of the ball. You don't even want the defense losing players, because that's the only strength of the team right now. There's really nothing to go off of except that for this team, for the Thunderbirds. I can't really say anything more about this preseason on what to predict for this year. It's just the offense. They got to play better. And they can't afford to lose guys. That's hands down what it's going to come down to for the Thunderbirds. As for the Tigers, I think they just played really, really good and were competitive in this game. And that's really all I have to say about it.
And just to elaborate a little on what I when I said, LC3 struggling, I don't mean that he's regressing. I just think that he has had the benefit of having a lot of really talented wide receivers around him for the most of his career. And on top of that, he has been an amazing runner. We all know that. But I just don't see him as a guy that makes everybody around him better. He more so seems, in the passing game, it's more seems to be that he just knows how to take advantage of the weapons he has. And because they have lost so many weapons on offense, I just don't know if we're going to be able to see LC3 take over games through the air this year. And if it results to the running game, which we know he excels at, we also know he's very brittle when it comes to injury. So that's sort of where my take is coming from when it comes to, LC3 might struggle this year. It's the offense has faltered in the past with better weapons, and now they don't have those weapons. And LC3 is just as brittle as he was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And now it's going to be even more on his shoulders than ever before. And that's where that comes from for me.
Yeah, and that's one thing I can agree with. The biggest thing about this as well is just the fact that you got certain game changers, in this league, and LC3's always been up there. I do not feel like he's always had the best weapons. I think that the time that he's had the best weapons was when he had DeAndre Cain and then he had Montrell Lansana, which was, I believe, just last year. But even then, like you said, this team did not throw the ball too much. They were more a power run team. So we really didn't get to see them air it out too much. He didn't do bad throwing the football either with those weapons, as he shouldn't have. But it's just the fact that, LC3 is not a Jabri Jackson kind of guy. Jabri Jackson, that's the only player in this sense I can compare him to that is also different, because Jabri Jackson, he's the guy who can take over a game and absolutely beat a team just about by himself, and we've seen him do it. As for LC3, I think the biggest thing holding him back is his injury. He can't stay on the field. If he was able to stay healthy and keep running the ball and doing all that stuff like Jabri does, then he would be that impact player. But you have to put something around. You have to put some weapons around this guy. He just doesn't have it this year, and the offense, is going to struggle for that. We know that's going to happen, and now it's more pressure not only on him but on this defense more than often. And we could even see a dip in the defense, even though I don't think we'll see it on the field. I think we'll see dips in numbers on the defense because they're going to be out onto the field more than they usually are. And that's when you usually see more yards, more points being scored. But I do think that there's still going to be a top-tier defense. But with all that pressure, it's going to be a tough season for the Thunderbirds. They're really going to have to grind out each of their games for next year.
And think about it, before we leave this, they've been grinding out games for the most part anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
they've never really been a team that just completely annihilates the teams they play. They've always just found ways to win in the fourth quarter, usually from their defense being their defense. So now you're going to take some of that away.
That's very true, man. People think that they're beating people 54-7. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just because of all the winning.
Yeah.
It makes you think like everything was a blowout. But no, a lot of these games came down to some close ones, man. Some comebacks and all type of crazy stuff, man. So yeah.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to this next game here. We had the Snowhawks, another blowout, as they hosted the Monarchs. And, Monarchs, it just looks like a repeat of what happened last year right now. And I know it's the preseason, but it's been really bad for these guys, even with their starters in. And the Snowhawks absolutely obliterated them in this game here, 36-17.
And this is something that I took away that I think was lost in the aftermath of the bloodbath that happened between the second quarter and the fourth quarter. But the Monarchs really didn't play all that bad in the first quarter when it was all the starters out there. It was 7-3 at the end of one, which, yes, okay, they're still losing. I know they let the Snowhawks drive right down the field and score, I believe, on the first drive. But the Monarchs themselves, for that first quarter anyway, did not play as bad as their reserves did the rest of the game. And I don't know if this is if we're going to see the team that we saw in the first quarter or if it's going to be more of the same like it was for the last three quarters. But the Monarchs are in a tough spot. We know this. The Snowhawks, are they back? Are they not back? Are we going to see this team in the regular season? Are we going to see the half team that we saw last year? Even after the starters returned, we never saw this Snowhawks team, but granted, this is preseason. So it's really hard to speculate because it's preseason. I'm just wondering if this is a sign of the Monarchs are still the same old Monarchs and are the Snowhawks back to what they were a couple of years ago rather than last year? Because if so, who knows what the limit is for the Snowhawks offense? They have some incredible talent, and as long as Gidley stays healthy, I can't even say that because Casey Chris had a heck of a game in this one. Granted, it was against the backups of the Monarchs, but he didn't look as bad as he did last year. I'll give him that. I just thought it was a great showing for the Snowhawks, and I'm holding out hope that the Monarchs aren't as bad as this game made them look, and it was just the fact that their depth is much worse than a lot of the other teams' depth because their starters are not much better. They're sort of just on the back end of everything right now, trying to get everything back where they can at least compete. So I'm holding out hope that the Monarchs starting unit will at least be able to hold off some teams and maybe get themselves more than one victory this year. And I'm hoping that the Snowhawks are back to their old form. But what I want to see this year, and I'm not sure if this is even a possibility, but are we going to see Preston Schrader do anything to change the course of his career? Because up to this point, we have not seen a single thing out of him, I don't think, that tells us this guy is going to be the guy at some point. And I'm just wondering, is he going to be that, or is this guy already just a placeholder for the next guy that's going to show up? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, man. A season ago, a bozo totally obliterated the London Monarchs. They probably should have had a couple of decent first round picks, and probably should have added on to their team. Probably should have had a great offseason. Should have made some greater trades, and probably should be fielding a team right now that put up more than 17 points. Speaking of which, they put up 17 points against the Snowhawks. So I had to go ahead and give an L to my boy Mitch being totally unrealistic right now. I am Mitch, but Yeah, man. There ain't no way the Monarchs are putting up 17 points on me with the state of this team right here, man. I'm being unrealistic, Mitch, just for jokes and everything. Don't take me serious. But
Dang it,
this
Mitchie.
team is terrible, man. And it's not Cam's fault, man. I'm actually applauds for Cam. Let me get some clapping emojis in the chat. He's sticking through it, man. He's grinding, and he got 17 points to get the Snowhawks, and that's a win for the Monarchs because that team literally was grenaded. They literally threw a pipe bomb uh, into the organization here in the locker room and destroyed this team, man. And it's just a shame. 18 yards on the ground, that type stuff, man. Just nonsense. Only 44 running yards on the day, and just seeing the team, man. And when they scored a touchdown, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, yeah, like they actually scored. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm not gonna try to say if the Snowhawks are back or anything like that. The Snowhawks are stacked. They got guys at all types of levels and everything, and so they're just stacked, man. So this should be the score of this game here. Even if Mr. G didn't play or whatever, that doesn't matter. This is gonna always be the score until the Monarchs can turn it around.
Yeah, nothing too much to say about this. My preseason breakdowns in terms of both of these teams, the Monarchs, it's the same old team like I mentioned earlier. Of course, this is just rebuild mode for them. Just looking to see if they can at least win a game like last year, which will of course just be at least getting them back to where they were. But even that's not saying much. Looking at the Snowhawks, I think that this team, like you said, this could be the year of the Snowhawks, man. I mean, they got the depth. They finally got all their players that they had suspended from last season playing and starting the season. Honestly, feel like they should have been a playoff team last year. I think they would have been a playoff team last year had it not have been for that suspension. And I don't think that we would have seen the downgrade of play with the Snowhawks playing in that time because of the time that they had finally got their pieces back, jumped in while everyone else had their momentum sky high, and they just were trying to play catch up. So I honestly feel like now that they're starting at the same time everyone else is, now that they got all their pieces, I mean, this is just the Monarchs. This is what they should have did, like you said, and they handled business, and they were also handling business, against other teams during this preseason too. And I honestly feel like the Snowhawks are going to be a team to watch out for. They've always been a team to watch out for, but it's going to be up to Coach Mitchell O'Brien to really take the Snowhawks to that next level, to the point on where these guys are actually going to be, finally hosting hoisting a championship. They're even getting to the AFC, the NRC conference championship game. I mean, they've never been there before. That's another thing about that. This team's only missed the playoffs once out of the 5 years that they've been in existence here in the RFL. This team should get to that point this year with these players that they've got. They definitely put it on full display with their depth in this preseason. I want to see this during the regular season, and that's pretty much all I gotta say about that.
Hey, Smitty, one question, or not one thing to add, man. For Cam, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you, you've been watching a little news. I know a lot of news is gonna start to surface real soon. Off season, bro. Take off work now. Take off work now and make sure you are in a foul for a whole week straight, bro. Because off season is gonna be a big deal in the RFL.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. And you got the money, buddy.
He's got the money.
Yeah,
man.
Big deal, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
Just don't destroy your team like the last guy after 17 weeks of not so much fun.
Yeah.
And another thing to add to that, we'll get to this topic later on, is that, now we're getting to a point where, a lot of guys, high overall, young guys and everything, they're asking for money, and teams aren't going to be able to keep these guys. There's going to be some guys in free agency, during that time. We may be looking at the Monarchs right now being at the bottom of the barrel, but this team could definitely make a come up by next year if they make the right moves.
Hey, Smitty, what if we get the same foul? It's gonna be even more players.
That's gonna be crazy.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Monarchs got all the cash.
All the cash. All right, next game we got here. Don't know. Hold on, what's happening here?
What did you do? Do we need to give you another bell?
trying to figure out why. Where is the there's no way this could be. Wow, I pressed that though, so I don't get how to. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Huskies taking on the Armadillos. Another blowout. That's all I can say about this one. Huskies 30-3.
Yeah, I really don't have much for this one at all. I mean, the Huskies are like, they just did their thing, and I wanna, I'm like I said last week, man. I want to see what Streets and Guyton and Johnson and Hudson all do once they get to the regular season with this new coaching regimen. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Armadillos, man. They seem to be a little weird of a team to me right now. I don't know if they have talent, but they just don't seem to use it very well, if that makes any sense. And we know that Devin Wade has been hot and cold at best. And I just don't know what we're going to see this year. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the Armadillos are in for a rough year.
One of the biggest things I just want to put out there is I think that they definitely have the talent. It's just the consistency at quarterback play. Because if you look at the run game, they've always had themselves a run game. Their wide receivers always made plays when given the football. So, I mean, you look at this game. What was the problem? Nobody could throw the ball. That's the issue. Nobody could throw the ball. Nobody could make plays. Drew Hartsock, literally, this was his farewell game in the preseason because we're not going to see him on the field anymore. And it makes sense on why we're not going to see him on the field anymore because the guy went to 13-29 and was, I think he started out 0 for 4 at the start of the game, missing everything. And, you know, he was frustrated and everything. It was sad to see him go out like that because this guy used to be the answer here. But he's just too old now. And that's what's holding the Armadillos back is a quarterback. But go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna say much about this one, man. I'm gonna go ahead and start my campaign right now. This video, you know, we talk about this here the other night. You, me, Jones. I think Bill was on the call too, man. Yeah, man. Look, go ahead, let old boy go, man. Let Hartsock go. Go ahead and draft a quarterback, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. Just go ahead and do it. Let old McMahon go too. Release him, save some money. And you can keep Wade, man. Go ahead, keep Wade for another year. He's only 25 and everything, man. But I think it's time to bring in some new life here to the Armadillos, man. And I'm going to go ahead and start that campaign for the Armadillos. Free Austin, man.
free Carlos Berry.
Yeah.
Carlos Berry. Yeah. Hey, he's straight. Hey, he's making plays,
man.
Yeah, I like
wasting his career.
Yeah, I know it,
he's
man.
getting the stats and everything. He may not get the way he wants, but like,
I would actually keep Carlos Berry unless somehow, Bill, they could actually trade and get some pieces and everything, you know, because they are getting kind of old, man. You know,
it's just Barry's just, you know, he's sort of old too, and like, you know how the running backs are in this league, man. It's so hard to move a running back.
Yeah, I think this team is definitely in that rebuild phase. You know, but they're not like all the way like in rebuild phase. They still have some pretty solid pieces on various parts of the team. But I do feel, man, that they need to go ahead and get that QB of the future. I just don't know if Wade is gonna ever mature into that guy. And then by the time he does, I mean, he's already 25, 27, 28. I mean, he's gonna start going downhill here. And the league is already getting younger, you know, and so I'm just all about Austin, man. They got a lot of cash. Go ahead and just get rid of these guys, man, and move forward. But with that said, man, the Huskies did what they absolutely were supposed to do anyway, you know, so it is what it is.
Yeah, in terms of the quarterback play, man, you know, like with Devin Wade, definitely, you know, the biggest issue with him, you know, and guys can check this out, you know, in the Discord. We got the data leagues up there to see. The biggest issue is a major stat which cannot be improved. You know, it's just not going to be improved unless a coach comes here and puts the development payment down to focus on him. But I don't see a coach doing that if coming in. If anything, they're going to draft a young guy and have them do that. So it looks like Devin Wade just really is not the guy. He has everything else, but the attribute that I'm talking about is his short accuracy. And that's mainly all of your throws. You know, that's your throws within a 20-yard radius of the player.
Mm-hmm.
That now hear me right, a radius, not yards. So that's a lot of throws within that area that you've seen him miss. And now that we have the accuracy slider more adjusted for more realistic play, you're really seeing that short throw accuracy showing its true self. And he didn't look bad last year, made some plays, but I don't even see him scrambling anymore. Or anything. So he looks like he's already just about shot for this year. We don't know how things are going to go, but it doesn't look like the aerial attack's going to be too great. The ground game's always, like I said, going to be there. But to talk about the Huskies in this game, we got to see also a difference in play once we got into more realistic sliders with the quarterback accuracy with Mark Hansen. We saw him play very great, passing for 2 consecutive 300-plus yard games in the preseason. With the starters out there, the minute that it got changed up and he had to play against the with the second team group and unit, you saw that he was missing more passes, just was not as accurate as he was. And like I said, who knows, maybe he would have been this way as well with the starters had the accuracy slider had been there at that time. We don't know, but we can already see that Mark Hansen is a guy who plays better with the talent around him. The Huskies, I think, are going to be a team, Brady Hudson, he's almost out the door. So I think they will have the talent around Mark Hansen to have him play better until he develops to be, a great quarterback on his own to make everyone around him better. But I just really thought that was interesting in this game. And speaking of Brady Hudson, I just love the way how he came in and you just saw, even with the accuracy slider turned down, this guy absolutely dotting up this defense. And that's exactly what you expect to see out of him playing his first preseason game, and he's just ready for the season off of that game alone. Deshaun Mcquarters, this can't go by without this guy. I mean, he's been here for 6 years, the original starting running back for the Huskies. I remember when the first ever draft came, and then that's when Corey Leonidas got drafted out of Hofstra. He was a guy who had, I believe at the time, the same overall as Deshaun Mcquarters. But, during training and in camp and everything, Deshaun Mcquarters was still that guy. McQuarters went on to, lead this offense to remain the starter all the way up from season 4. Season 5, just last season, was when Leonidas was finally able to take the torch from him and take over. And you saw Leonidas really develop behind Deshaun McQuarters. And you still see Deshaun McQuarters giving excellent effort as a backup when being called to come in. 200-plus yard rushing game on the ground in this one. And like I said, you even saw that last year when he wasn't the primary guy carrying the football. You even saw him making plays on special teams. I remember on special teams in season 4, him returning a kick back to the house in the playoffs for a touchdown. So it's just amazing to see those old veterans still out there kicking it, making big plays like Deshaun McQuarters. Definitely want to give a shout out to that guy, and just an all-around great game by him. Good win for the Huskies.
Well, I actually have something about McQuarters here. Why does Coach K hate this man?
He hates him.
He hates him. Like, this man is 30 years old. How are you going to run him 30 times like this in a preseason game? You trying to kill him?
The other part of that, too, is that he's like one of the weaker backs in the league, let alone the ARC. He's like 70 strength. And something else is like really, really low. So I get it why he's upset about that. He's just not powerful. He's kind of almost like a paperweight.
Are you saying that more so? Bill, are you saying that more so because of the carries you were just saying, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say because I know I don't think that he hates McQuarters. McQuarters been balling out.
Well, you think he does? You can't be putting the old man out there like that, making him carry the ball 30 times in a preseason game. You trying to retire him early?
Yeah,
that's McQuarters in the picture, right?
Yeah, that's him right there.
Yeah, he's yelling at Coach K. You stop giving me the ball.
Yeah,
I don't have to be playing preseason, man. I'm a veteran.
He was still toting that thing. Yeah, he's still going, man, and that's the thing about him. Still, I think they got, once again, even though with this older veteran, they have a great duo at running back. Like, it doesn't matter which one of those two come in, they get the job done. Either one of them. I just love the fact to see that he's still in here looking just like he did back when the season first started. So, I mean, that was just a great performance. Moving on to the next game. I'm getting tired of things not showing up. And I'm pressing.
Are you blaming all this on the computer right now?
Yeah, because
it's on the screen.
Yeah, but it's not changing the. It should be changing the Huskies.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the scores.
Yeah. Well, not the score. It's like
the picture over
the
here.
Picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I dragged those things in, man. What's going on?
Turn the original one off, maybe.
Okay, that was. Wow, that you saw me turn that off though, right? And it didn't pop up.
Yeah. Probably needs a little second to populate, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all right, next game. Already been kind of lengthy with this segment, so I guess we need to start moving a little bit faster with this here. But the Voyagers and the Bisons, just an absolute blowout here. More so towards the second half. I think, right? Yeah, Rob, you called this was 24-24 the first half, and then the Voyagers just unloaded on them the entire second half.
I'm reloaded.
I don't really have a whole lot to say on this one, man. I just think the Bisons actually played pretty well in the first half, first quarter. They didn't seem to play, bad football. And like you said, it was the second half where the Voyagers are just like, all right, we're gonna turn this up a little bit and just mollywop these guys, and that's what they did. But I like the Bisons. I actually think that this offense might be in store for a good season, man. I'm liking what Hobart is doing, and it's unfortunate because I know Torres is a community guy, and everybody wants him to start. But you mentioned before with McCoy how there's levels to the league, and you saw by him coming into the game for the Condors that he just absolutely lit up the defense for who the heck did they play? My gosh.
Condors, the Shamrocks.
Condors. Shamrocks. You saw him just destroy the Shamrocks because he was playing against backups.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that from Torres against these backups. And to me, that's just showing that while he may have a very bright future in Oklahoma City, I don't think it's his time right now. And I don't know unless the Bisons falter really badly if we are going to see him this year at all, because Hobart is showing that he is the guy, and that's really all I got on that.
Yeah, it's, and I know guys don't want to hear it, man. But we just got to keep it all the way real. It's not about your overall, man. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys think that because they're a higher overall, like I remember, whenever Torres was drafted in the first season, and he has the right to feel this way, and other guys have the right to have their own opinion too. But I'm going to say mine, right? Like, guys are like, oh, well, he's going to be better than Hobart in one season. He's going to have a higher overall than Hobart in one season and all this other stuff. And the truth is that does not define, your play as a player. You can be an 85 overall on a team and still, be terrible on the field. There's more to it. There's players around you. There's system. There's scheme. There's just the right elements. It's the defense you're playing. It's so many other factors. And what you saw here was you saw Torres, the higher overall than Lawler, right? He has a Lawler by how many points? 15 points, something like that, right? He's got Lawler by a long shot. Put it like that. And Lawler was the controlled quarterback here through a quarter of what he threw more touchdowns, more production than he had, less interceptions, moved the ball better, than he did for 3 straight quarters. That was, I'm not mistaken, 3 quarters. Destroyed the alleged starter here in OKC at home.
Yeah.
Right. So I know guys don't want to hear it, and I know my radar, my popularity radar is going to go down, and I don't care. But this is what happens, man. This is what happens. And right now, they have an issue going on starting this season here with OKC. This was a issue last year as well, and it just continues to be a issue season to season. And they're gonna have to start trying to figure it out, man. www.relocationfootballleague.com. Somebody come and try to coach. Well, because it's getting kind of nerve wracking.
And another thing is, I'm seeing, just to talk about the scheme. I don't think the scheme is the issue, because you see Devin Hobart getting it done. So I understand that schemes are different, but at the same time, you need to go with who's going to give your team the best opportunity to play. When it comes to decision making overall, who's got the better attributes and who actually performs that on the field is Devin Hobart. So why would you scheme against somebody who's in the quarterback position who hasn't earned that spot yet? He may have took it before, and the only reason why he took it before is because they didn't have a chance to win, which he could do this year. But they still got a season to possibly play in the playoffs. So you scheme around the guy that gives you the best opportunity to win. You don't try to scheme for a backup that you think is going to be better. If he doesn't play better, then he's just not the guy. So and actually he's shown that.
Hey, Smitty, to add on to what you're saying too, man, I'm going to use this, right? Because this makes sense. And Jones, I'm going to use your player right now, and I'm not meaning it no kind of way. You know we're good, right? Drake Cowell is an 87 overall, Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jones is an 85 overall. If you put both of those players in the same game, right, that Jones just played, do you think that Drake Cowell, even though he's only 2 points overall better than Justin Jones, you think he would have played way better than Justin Jones? I think that the majority of people would say yes. He would have probably obliterated, you know what I'm saying, that team, you know? So it shows you like it sometimes it is scheme. Sometimes it is players around you. Sometimes I just believe that it's like deeper tissue attributes that make players better, and it's the age and stuff like that, you know, and the way the game registers and stuff. It's just different scenarios, man. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like that shows you, like we say that we keep using that word, the levels, man. There's levels to it, and not every player that's a high overall is meant to be a starter.
And that's another thing too, is that you got to understand the community members who think about this. There's certain attributes on a certain position that gets weighted in way more than it should. So you look at Drake Crowell, you look at him, okay, he's an 87 overall. He's got 84 throw power, 85 throw power. You're like, oh man, that's terrible. That's weak. But look at the rest of the attributes and look at everything that comes with him. He's going to be more better than most guys that could even be higher than him that have the throw power, because they don't meet him in those other areas. You know, so it's a lot more than just the number, the overall. It's just the entire build of the player in which Rob was bringing up. And Drake Crowell, you know, it was a great example. But Devin Hobart, you know, you look at him, he's also still got a little bit of a cannon on him to be as old as he is. And he's just a more accurate guy. And it may be by a little, but, you know, you can see that the decision-making, the maturity, the way he plays, it's all there. And he has the abilities. So, you know, guys would probably even bring up an argument trying to say that, ability, he's got abilities, though. Well, he's got abilities. So he's going to be better. He's got abilities. What, are we just not going to play him just because he's got abilities and you don't? You know, I guess.
I accidentally answered for everyone. Okay, sorry, Markel. Who here thinks that Drake Cowell would have had the same day that Justin Jones had? Matter of fact, are we coming to that game, Smitty?
Yeah, I think is that, okay. That's actually next.
Fine.
Let's just go ahead and move on to that.
There we go,
because we are taking a minute. So
Yeah.
the Bulls end up beating the Celtic Tigers 32-20. I guess we can go ahead and start you out with your points you was going to make, Rob, and then throw Bill in there.
Yeah. So you guys see the numbers. You guys saw the game. So who thinks that Justin Jones or Drake Cowell would have had the same game against the Bulls defense that Justin Jones had this weekend with 3 interceptions? And we're gonna sit here and wait. We're gonna sit here and wait. I want to know who, because I want to screenshot all of you.
Going to put his hand
so
up
I know.
and say that. It's always
the
guys.
Oh, yeah, okay, McCall, yeah. McCall, you would have had 7 interceptions against these Bulls. Guarantee you.
Oh man.
I just want to see. I want to see who's going to put it up there. Okay, McCall again. I get a lot of bruz. Oh, I got some Dre. Okay, thank you, Jay Morris. I got a note.
He says I'm slow right now.
Right. Who? I want to screenshot this. We're going to screenshot this. Say the question again slow. Okay, CP. Would Drake Cowell have had the same game that Justin Jones had against the Bulls this past preseason, week 4? Would Drake Cowell have had 3 interceptions and a loss to the Bulls, do you think, in week 4, had he played 3 straight quarters against the Bulls backups?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Let's just be honest. Put your
McCall, you better delete that thing before Rob sees that.
They 7 TDs, 7 messages. Oh yeah. I'm not even worried about that. That's so far off. He'll probably be on AARP before he sees the Cougars. I'm telling you, that's how far that off is. Like you probably won't start for another 10 years in this league.
But yeah.
Oh man.
Let's see. I'll probably be up in management somewhere.
In all seriousness, though, guys just know that, of course, Dre's better. You know, we know that Jones is the future and everything. And that's another thing I want people to also understand is I understand people got, you know, their opinions on certain things, and people can, you know, look at me and say that, you know, maybe a little biased towards the Celtic Tigers. For one, I'm not at all. I don't.
Hold on.
I'm not biased towards the Celtic Tigers at all. I'm not.
You can admit that you like them better as a team than most of their teams.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Smitty,
Ain't no Smitty. I'm dead serious. I respect what he's been able to do, what that team has been able to do, and I do feel that they can hang with just about anyone. They should be a team that should have, you know, went to a bowl and won it, but they just haven't. Situations happen. But the main reason that makes me, you know, speak more about them is that people tend to look past that and like this guy hasn't even won a championship yet. And already throwing the shade at the dude like he's not great. He's the GOAT for that reason to me, because he's been that impactful. And it seems that people want to throw shade at the guy who, okay, maybe you could say he's a regular season warrior, but at the end of the day, it's more than just him on the team. You look at the situation, the games that he lost, which is barely. The Celtic Tigers are the most winningest team in the RFL due to the fact that he was on the team, helping them win those games. And I know there's other factors, but he had a huge impact on that. So he's definitely a high impact player.
The disrespect is real out here.
Yeah, it's just that the guys, like, you know, they want to talk about Dre Coel and try to slander his legacy because they want to hold the chip. But let's be honest here. If he even won that first Reload Bowl, would you guys even be talking about Dre Coel at all? About who can you even name in this league at the quarterback position who's been able to do what he's been able to do in that time span as consistently as he has?
Well,
there's nobody you can name that who can you name in that's even comparable that you can say like, okay, he's better than Dre.
Why I just don't know why we discount Jabri so much.
Jabri is not you can't throw him with Dre.
He's been how? Why
how
not?
Can't he's definitely not on the quarterback level as Dre. At all.
Yo, the disrespect is real in the chat right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's nowhere near. And then he said Savoy in 1 year. First off, let's also think about this. Look back at Savoy's rookie season. Another thing is I feel like a lot of dudes gas up certain players. And I'm not going to say he's not bad at all. Anthony Savoy is definitely a beast. But he did not have a great year his rookie year. He was offensive rookie of the year, yeah. But you look at him that entire season, I think dudes mainly talk because of what they hear from other people instead of actually looking at the game or being there. Because most guys, even sometimes that are here right now, don't even show up.
Oh, rat-a-tat-tat, shots fired.
Yeah. You said
look. I'm not saying Dre is bad, but like, why are you discounting what Jabri has done when he has been more consistent?
No, he hasn't. Are you serious?
He's got the Gunners to the championship game for how many years?
He's done it. First of all, he's done it twice. And if you're going to literally say that Jabri Jackson has been more consistent than Dre Crowell, then you're tripping.
You're tripping.
He has not been more consistent than Dre Crowell. Jabri Jackson, the main reason why he's not even in that category is because he is inconsistent. He's been able to win games off of his legs and stuff like that. But he has not been a consistent player, even with doing that.
So if we're going to go off of consistency,
you're talking off of consistency. Only games you can bring up is playoff games.
Exactly, but that's part of the game.
But that's only 3 games. We're talking about 3 games.
Say that consistency and inconsistency does not
count.
Out of all the amount
of games that he's played, this is what I think. Everybody wants to talk about the playoffs and certain things. First of all, the whole thing isn't always his fault, and then also the entire look at what he's been able to do throughout every game he's been in. That's what I think. That's why I talk about him a lot, because I feel like a lot of people try to overshadow how great the dude is just by saying, "Oh, he lost this game in the playoffs." Look at the teams he lost to.
Yo, Baker said y'all need a shot clock when Dre name come up.
It's crazy because I feel like a lot of people discounting.
All I'm saying though, man, is like I'm not saying that Jabri is a better quarterback than Dre. All I'm saying is, if you're going to use consistency as a level to say that Dre is better than Jabri, when Jabri has gone to the
that doesn't mean he's more consistent than him, though. That does not just because he's went to an NRC. First of all, those games that he won.
That's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying.
Okay,
I was trying to finish my thought here. So when Dre gets to the playoffs, they lose. That's inconsistent. I don't care how you write it. That's inconsistency. Jabri has at least gotten his team to the championship game multiple times.
Actually,
All
Bill,
I'm saying,
that is consistent though.
He
you know
goes
what I'm
to the
saying,
playoff.
though, man. You know what I'm saying. I get what you're saying there, Rob.
Just because and
what
that's
I
what I'm
did
saying.
there.
Like he went there and everything consistent. Like if you're talking about consistency, I'm talking about if you're going to choose who is better, you literally have to choose between Jabri Jackson and Dre Crowell. Toss out the whole. When you talk about the playoff, like who are you going to choose for a game to play for your team to win?
Well, I can't make that call just based off of that question.
I have to know
what kind of players are around them. I have to know the kind of scheme.
It doesn't matter. Even if you got to choose who you want around the player.
Oh,
you telling me you're not going to choose Dre over Jabri?
Look, I'm gonna just tell y'all. I'm not on the Dre Crowell wagon. You guys know I'm very outspoken about old bones Dre, man. But I will tell you this though: if I had to choose between two quarterbacks that I wanted, I'm gonna take. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm gonna take Dre Crowell. Because I understand there are some things on Dre Crowell that other players just don't have. And if you're really about this, you have to go and look at the stats and look at the attributes. And Jabri doesn't have that. He's done some great things in this league. I love Jabri Jackson. He's awesome, man. You know what I mean? But if I'm talking about a quarterback on my team that I have to sign out of free agency and Jabri is there and Dre is there, I'm automatically taking Dre Crowell. That's just how it's going. But that's the type of person I am. I may be... You not know what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, but like, if you're talking about consistent, like even with the consistency thing, he's not. If you look at the player, he's not better than Dre. I don't see him as better than Dre. You could probably say he's more consistent when he gets to the playoffs, but like you're talking about even getting there, he's only been there 2 years. You talk about him going to the playoffs, he's only been there 2 years. Dre Crowell's taken him there every single year that he's got to play an entire season.
He didn't
get to play an entire. 2 years ago he didn't make it. He didn't get to play every single game either.
What?
He didn't get to play every single game either.
Did I miss something? I could have swore he played that whole season.
He played 14. It was either 14 or 15 games, and they missed it by 1 game. He has still consistently taken his team to the playoffs every year. That's consistency.
I thought he played every game. It's not really that big of a difference to me whether he did or not. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that Dre is not the better quarterback overall. What I'm saying though is I think Jabri is a more talented player than Dre, but Dre is the better quarterback. And I just think that sometimes in your argument for Dre, you discount Jabri a lot, and that shouldn't be the case because Jabri has done some amazing things with much lesser talent on his team and at a more consistent level.
I agree, but this is what I'm saying. I don't think it's really that comparable to the consistency of what he's been able to do. Because I don't think dudes. First of all, you got to even look back at the years before Jabri Jackson even took his team to get to the point to go to the playoffs. Do you remember what he used to even look like? You guys weren't even in the league yet. Y'all don't remember what he used to do before he even made it to the playoffs. There was never a season like that for Dre.
You're taking this as me like hating on Dre.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying. But I'm saying
arguments. I'm just to put up more points about.
Yeah, I don't think you're hating on Dre, but I'm saying like the main reason I brought this up is I feel like dudes are like just the main reason why it seems like I like the Celtic Tigers more is because I feel like I gotta defend them because they are a great team, and then dudes try to literally say like they're trash or something. And I'm not saying it's you guys, but people are looking at the Celtic Tigers like they're trash.
No, if you're saying the Celtic Tigers are trash, then something's wrong with you. Like, I mean, I talk about the I feel
like, and even you don't have to say that Dre Crowell is the GOAT, but you better know that when he's on the field, you better be afraid on what he's going to do. If you don't game plan against stopping him, you're going to lose.
Yeah,
like that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
People
but
Smitty,
don't look at that, though. But you know what, Smitty, though? I feel you on that, but you have to let fans be fans, right? Because they're not the ones who are...
I'm not... Look, this is the only thing about the fans that I bring up, though. The only thing about the fans that... I don't care what opinion it is, but when you see that some people are just like... For one, they don't know nothing about them. You know they don't know anything about the Celtic Tigers. They're just going off a wave of hearing what somebody is saying about, oh, he's not the GOAT. Just because you're hearing other people say he's not GOAT, then you're hearing people, oh, he's not the GOAT. Look, you don't have to say he's the GOAT, but you don't even know about the dude. So why are you saying that the Celtic Tigers and Dre's trash when they're the most winningest team in the league.
Exactly.
Like that's why I don't
I
get
got
it.
We
you.
all
I
get
get
it.
it. We get
Jabri
it. We
is the
get it.
GOAT.
Yeah.
Now, can we just move on to the next game?
Yeah, I look, I had to put it out there, man, because
All right.
just
cool.
seeing that's just crazy.
Next game.
Did we even talk in depth about this?
No,
I
Bill.
need to.
Coach Klein is just sitting here like, guys, come on, guys.
We didn't even
guys.
talk about. Yeah, when it come to that, man, like I'm gonna have to defend dudes who got
right.
legacy, bro. It is
Hey,
what
this
it
was
is.
it was a great game for you, Coach Klein. I think I talked a little bit about this with the guys a little bit, but it was I thought that it was a great game plan, and against a good team. I'm not gonna say a superior team because when backups are involved, you really kind of don't know who's who and what's what. But I thought it was just a great game. I thought it was a great game plan against a great quarterback, in Justin Jones. And I know he in the chat right now he's salty right now about this right here because he's the preseason prince. I think that's what he calls himself. And he had 11 total touchdowns in two seasons, and he had a bad game. And he just doesn't like that he had a bad game. Let me get bottles in the chat that Justin Jones had a bad game. Out of all the quarterbacks who had bad games, Justin Jones is the only one to speak out in chat and be mad that he had a bad game. So let's give the 85 overall quarterback a whole bottle, a case of Similac right now in the chat for having a bad game, Mr. 11 touchdown, 3 interceptions.
He says put a bottle in your bag.
Yeah, a whole year.
Oh man.
Milk flavored Bang, sponsored by Justin Jones for crying about a bad game. Like he's not the next quarterback to step up in Dublin and lead them to victories and all this other great stuff he's crying about.
This bad game had Jones questioning the coding of Madden itself.
Right. Three interceptions, and he's talking about a bad game. I'll tell you what a bad game is. A bad game is, a bad game is Anthony Savoy killing the Celtic Tigers. I mean, the Cougars on the last drive in the ARC Championship and spoiling that. That's what a bad game is. You're in preseason, man. Chill, man. You're all right, man.
And it's not like everybody else is not on the same sliders either. That's the other thing.
Facts,
like, man, you were 85 overall quarterback. That's what it was. I was even saying it during the game.
Love you, Justin. Love you, man.
That's all it is. Just had a bad game. It happens. It happens to the best of us, man.
And I will just say this so we can move on is Bulls do good, Celtic Tigers not. And then we got the next game.
All right, let's move on.
There we go.
And the final game was the Red Dragon. Another blowout here, man. Red Dragons versus Black Knights, 59-28. Joey Lewis tried to play his old team. He literally got cut from the team immediately after this game for his appearance. 4 interceptions. And yeah, that was the end of his career just about.
Oh man, and this is sort of goes to a few of the games that I've talked about, man. Black Knights didn't play bad at all with their starters. It's just some of these teams have much better depth than some of these other teams because I thought the Black Knights in the first quarter were actually impressive. They scored 14 on the Red Dragons defense, and last year that's better than what half of the teams they played altogether did on their defense last year. So I can't give them too much crap for dropping the ball in the second part of the game. And I thought Langford Cloud looked really good. I'm hoping that he's primed and ready to go again, back to his old form. We saw a little bit of that from him. I think it was like the first 6 weeks of last season that he was just balling, and then he sort of fell off again. I'm hoping we can get a full season of some fun Langford Cloud because that'll be awesome for London. And I'm sort of hoping that these guys are tooling for one last ride before Holden Wolf goes off into the sunset with his career, because we all know it's getting to the end of the road for him. He's getting up there. So I'm hoping the Black Knights are putting something together, and Coach Carter's got something up his sleeve. But yeah, man, poor Joey Lewis. He leaves first. He loses his job to Savoy. Then he gets cut, and then he finds a good spot as a solid backup for the Black Knights. And he just gets to ride off into the sunset just like Holden Wolf was. I'm just going to hold this clipboard for a year or two, collect a couple more $1 million, and then I'm going to hit the road and move to Mexico or something. But no, he comes into this game and he got retired by his old team. Like 4 picks, and Coach Carr's like, look, man, we can't be having this. You're gone. And he's just out of there. So bad game for Lewis. Good game for the starting unit of the Black Knights. Not so much the second and third units. And of course, the Red Dragons are, well, they got the depth that what we thought they had.
I'm thinking like if this was real, like in terms of like real life with real personality, like these people were real. Could you even like say that and laugh about a person like that on a
Right.
meme? But
Oh,
anyway,
what? Yes.
Right.
you think
Yeah.
so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Hey, you can't handle the heat. Don't be using the kitchen, you know?
Man, look, man. I thought this was just funny, man, because like the RFL is kind of weird, man. You guys got some got these guys who are reload bowl champs in this league and not perennial quarterbacks and everything, you know, and then you got perennial quarterbacks who haven't won anything. And it's just kind of backwards to me, man. And so when I found out, you know, Luigs was a Reload Bowl champion. You said season 2, Smitty? Was that what? Season 2 Reload Bowl champion?
First championship.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you, he looked okay in this game, man. But as you can see the look on Linadino right now, Linadino is looking at Luigs over on the sideline with his fur coat on, thinking his career is about to be restored. And man, oh man, boy, did he run into his old team here and got fleeced, I guess you could say. And obviously just getting ran out off the team by Coach Carter was just embarrassing after, you know, he signed him and everybody was like, oh, it's Luigs. Oh, yeah, I saw the chat. Everybody's going crazy. I'm like, okay, the OG stepped up. OG's here showing out like, oh, you know, Luigs is here. Okay, let's get some damage done. And man, boy, oh boy, did that turn into, oh boy, a pick fest here. 4 interceptions you can see right there. No, that's actually worse than Justin Jones. You know, so he's a real bowl champ. Just ridiculous calling that game. Big shout out to Justin for the highlights of that, man. That was just the end of that right there, man.
Can you imagine what the convo was like after the game with Luigs and Coach Carter? Like,
right,
that must have not been very pretty at all. Like, I wonder if he even got a ride home. You know, like with the team.
Right.
Yeah, did you bring your car to the game?
Yeah, like Coach
Yeah,
Carter,
man,
if you're in the chat, let us know. Did you let him fly back on the team plane, or did he have to find his own way home? Did he have to Uber Air?
Hey, I think he probably offered at least the plane ride back because he felt bad for him.
I
He had to
would've
at least
left him
gave him the plane ride, and
I'd have left him there.
yeah, told him like, yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's it from
hey,
here.
Just sit down. You just knock it off.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
bad.
yes, Mix did manage to bring Justin back into the convo.
Oh yeah, Jones. Jones is my buddy, man. He knows we go back and forth, but I give him hell. I can say hell, right? Yeah, I give him hell sometime, man.
I guess hell is a word you could use in a certain a certain sense, but I guess not.
Maybe we'll say we'll say it's hellacious. We'll say hellacious.
Yeah,
How about
hellacious.
that?
Yeah,
We got
didn't
a
JR
good
used to say that in the WWE?
Yeah.
We got a good one here, guys.
Hellacious.
Justin gave us a really nice comment, and he said, Luigs got more Reload Bowl wins than Dre. Yes, sir.
Hey, it's all cool. He's not better than him though, and he at least got a job. So anyway, let's go ahead to the schedule for this upcoming week. We got quite a few games. We got a total of 5 premier games that will be getting called, and then you can see here quite a few. I'm not even going to try to add that up, but it's not a lot, but a lot of premier games that you guys need to go ahead and watch, which should be great games. So let's go ahead and first start talking about the first game that's going to start up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's the Cougars versus the Huskies. All-time big rivalry that has really kicked up since the realignment in the division. I think this rivalry really kicked up ever since the Huskies made it to the Reload Bowl and won it all back in season 4. And ever since Rob came into the fold, it's just been back and forth splitting. And it's just a great game to start out the season. I'm going to ask you guys, who do you guys think is going to win this? And then I'm going to also look at my phone here because we're also going to be talking about the spreads that was dropped and if you guys believe that they'll be able to cover the spread or not. So let me go ahead and pull that up. So
I want to just before we get into this, I want to put this out there because last year the way we did it tired me out. Okay, I think this year when we go into these previews, we got to do it game by game here. Because last year we did it, you just rattled them all off, and then I had to circle all the way back and go through all the games.
Yeah, that's why I stopped there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
because that was tiring, man. I had to take a breather after that last year.
All right, so I'm not going to give my predictions on it because I mean that's right, the spreads here. But
I'm on my
Cougars, are predicted to win this by at least 3 points. Do you think they're going to win it? Who do you guys got winning this game?
I got the Cougars winning it, and that's not because I think the Huskies are that inferior to them, but the Huskies have a new coach. We have no clue what that's going to be looking like yet, and the Cougars come back just as good, if not actually, they came back better this year because of the Geno pick. So I have the Cougars stepping up a notch this year, and I'm unsure about where the Huskies are going to stand, even with the new pieces, with the new coaching system. So I have to go Chicago here.
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to be biased here. And I just speaking, I can't speak too much because I don't want to give my opponent any kind of pointers here at all going into next game in less than 24 hours. But yeah, man. He's got a new weapon that I really like in Isaiah Streets, man. And I'm just gonna say that that has improved the wide receiver core for this team, which is I'm not gonna lie, it's a really tough team to beat for any coach. It's not easy to beat the Huskies. What if they only had like, what was it, how many losses in 2 years, Smitty? 9, whatever it is, or something like that,
Off the top of my
or
head,
less than that.
Yeah,
That's
haven't
it's like under 9, it might be 8 or 7 or something like that. They're a really difficult team to beat, and anybody that says that they could just beat the Huskies or whatever is lying to you. And it's easy. It wasn't easy for me last year. I did take an L to them once, and I beat them when it counted, when it mattered most. But this is not an easy team to win against. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a great game. But you guys already know I'm Cougars. I'm Cougars all day. So I hope that the coach is up stressing as much as I'm stressing this because this is a big game. It's a division game. It starts off the year, and I just want to win it, and I'm treating this like week 17 all over again, boys. so you guys already know Cougars. Hey, Cougar Nation be in full effect tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because y'all know Rob Roby, the schemes is out there, man. I'll see y'all.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just leave it up to you guys because I'm pretty much putting who I think is going to win from the spreads and stuff. So the next game is the Bulls hosting the Miners, who used to be the former Conquistadors. Got the Bulls winning by at least 5 points. That's the spread. Who you guys got winning?
This one is pretty simple to me. We all know, who knows? Maybe this changes under Coach Klein, but we all know the Bulls have been the regular season darlings for the last 2 years, as they just don't seem to be able to lose during that time. So I'm going to go Bulls. And also, I just know that the Miners are a team that still needs some pieces yet before they're going to be up there with some of the higher up teams in the ARC.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, I see he did put them in here this morning. Okay, yeah. Miners have been kind of quiet to me. I'm a little worried, man. I know Chris is kind of a behind the scenes guy, kind of a more quiet person. So I'm assuming he's doing what he has to do and everything. But I do feel that since Klein has been here with the Bulls, he's kind of made a lot of noise. He's very active in the community, and I'm seeing some things he's been doing. But I guess he also had a few primetime games and everything, so it's making it seem like maybe he's just more out there than the Miners right now. So I don't know. I think the Bulls are the stronger team, and that's no shade to Chris Dunn. He inherited the Miners, the former Conquistadors. But I think that the Bulls, we cannot forget that the Bulls were on a rampage last year. What were they? 12-1, 13-1, something like that, all the way through to like week whatever it was.
At the last couple games.
Yeah, had a rough ending last couple of games, and we do know that also was because of the amount of time that the coach was able to put in. He wasn't able to put in a lot of time at the end of the season. That's Coach Jeff Melanishin. I'll give him that respect there. I had to beat the brakes off him, but he didn't have a lot of time. Yeah. Come on, I'm not gonna give him all that love, a little bit of a gut punch. But no, he wasn't able to finish like he wanted to. And that team ran it. That team ran it all year last year, and so I'm looking for that team to be equally as good as the Huskies in my division this year as well. So I'm gonna lean toward the Bulls, but maybe the Miners get it done.
But we're missing the last part of the this year. So just to go back to the last game too, do you think that the Cougars will cover 3 points in their victory, and also do you think that the Bulls will cover 5 in their victory?
Yes and yes.
Yeah. I think that this will be a close game. One touchdown decides this game.
All right, next game. Columbus
Here comes
Aviators,
Broman
London
for
Black
the
Knights. Got the Black Knights winning by at least 6 points. Do you think they cover the spread, and who do you think's going to win?
I don't know, man. I this one is the first one where I'm a little iffy
Come on,
on here.
Bill. Come on, Bill.
I don't think they're gonna cover the spread, man. I don't know.
Bill, was Bill not watching the news?
What?
Marquise Washington is the starter. It's over for the Black Knights.
That's what I'm saying though. But like we got Marquise on one side and a lot of dudes who we got Kenny and Lusk and they got a bunch of weapons, but I don't know what they're gonna work like yet. And we got all the old dudes in London, and I just don't know if the experience is gonna help. I don't know if I can say the Aviators will win this game, but I do not think that the spread is gonna be covered at all.
Y'all know I gotta keep it funny with y'all, man. Hey, I don't know, man. Coach just found out. Coach just now announced that Marquise Washington was the starter for the Aviators, even though we knew this since the college series that he was a starter. but Coach Back finally let us know. He finally let us know that Marquise Washington is the starter. Thank you. Let's get a round of applause. Woo! Round of applause for Coach Back.
Trying to install that. I forgot.
For finally getting to the party here. We appreciate that, Coach. But this is going to be a great game, man. Coach Carter, he's very active here. He's doing a lot with his team. Really liked what I saw with him in preseason, and I'm really liking Coach Back, man. He's making decisions wisely for himself, not listening to what everybody else has to say. And we did see some signs of greatness from the Aviators when he played his players. And Marquise Washington, though, he's destined to be great here. He's going to be in the 99 club. He's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and it's going to be awesome, man. So big salute to both of these coaches. I cannot wait to see this game on Saturday, man. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think this will be a really good game.
You think that so who you got winning this, you said again?
I have the Aviators. Because who do you have favored? London?
Yeah, I got the Black Knights favored to win by 6.
I have the Aviators in the upset here. And okay. I feel like they're actually going to win by like 10 to 14 points, maybe even more.
Yeah. Okay. Dang, Carter. Let's play a bell for him.
Sorry, Carter. I love you, man, but I like this quarterback here. He's got a lot of up tempo, a lot of swag on him, and he's difficult. If coach has him in the right system, he should do what he's supposed to do, which is take over the game.
All right, next game we got here. Pioneers and Sentinels got them winning by at least 8. Cover the spread, or do you think they're gonna lose?
Nah, I think the Pioneers are gonna take this one.
Yeah. Whoa! What?
I'm just kidding, man. I think the Sentinels got this in the bag. They'll cover the spread probably twice over.
Oh man, I think. Hey, look, Tor. I want to see Dutch Schultz. Man. I like my Alabama guys. I talked a lot about Dutch Schultz in that college series 1, man. I want to see Dutch Schultz go crazy on these Pioneers, man. I would love to see it because they're decent. They're decent, they're okay, but I don't think they got anybody to really keep up with these Sentinels right here. So I expect this to be a great game all around for the Sentinels. And hats off to the Pioneers. They may put up a struggle. They do have some solid players on the defense, but I think the coach is going to get this win. Whatever the spread is for the Sentinels, I got that.
All right. Yeah, you talk about Dutch, man. Alabama boy, Rob's going to be
all
for him.
Yeah.
Next game, we got the Monarchs. I don't know why I laughed. But Monarchs versus the Lancers. And the spread is 17. So, the Lancers predicted to win by at least 17 points.
Are you sure? Did you watch last season?
So, do you think
it's a tie? It's a tie.
So, do you think that it's gonna you talk about the last, but I don't know about this year, man. It's looking pretty rough. I think it was a freak situation.
I just don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Lancers are gonna win. Regier, I swear to God, if it's 2 in a row, man, we're having a serious conversation after the game. But I don't know if they're gonna cover that big of a spread. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm a rule in your favor this time, man. I think that you just got caught up in end of the season moves for whatever reason, and you just had that downward spiral, and the Madden gods decided to bless you with an L because you were kind of towing the line a little bit, man. And braggadocious and stuff like that. Big shout out to the meme that Markel made last season. That was hilarious. But no, I think that man, we got to put some respect on the Lancers guys. You know what I'm saying? He didn't lose any of those backs, did he?
No, he still got both of them.
Yeah, that dude and that
Bulldogs.
back, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put some respect on the Lancers here. I know it's all jokes in the Discord, but I think this might get out of hand. This might get really out of hand.
I hope so, because I think he deserved.
Yeah.
They have earned a whooping on the Monarchs for disrespecting them last year.
Yeah. Now look, if Colt Cruz come out there and he's not balling, oh boy, you're gonna hear it on the podcast, man. You bet, because you did he trade Kayod?
Yeah, he traded
Colt
DeAndre
Cruz?
King.
Yeah.
Yep. For Colt Cruz.
Boy, oh boy, you better hope Colt Cruz do not get shut down by these Monarchs, or it's gonna be a whole conversation on the podcast next week.
So you think that the Lancers are going to cover that 17?
Yeah. I think. Oh, it's now 17 now.
17. They got to win
That's
by
why
at
I
least
said
17.
that's a
Boy.
big spread. That's a disrespectful
17.
spread.
That is kind of disrespectful,
That is
Smitty.
some disrespect. Cam, you're
To
still
put
here. What do you think
17
about
on
that
them.
spread?
17? What? That's definitely in the
17?
realm.
This guy's coming out like, oh, the spread is 35.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they're gonna beat them by 17. I think that if you're playing reloads, man, you put everything on the Monarchs, because I don't think the Lancers are gonna beat them by 17.
You know, I'm telling you, man, we don't know what we're getting with the Monarchs yet. If you tell them that and they all listen to you, and you are the one who caused the great crash of 2021 in our economy.
Listen to Mix. Bet everything
no.
on the Monarchs. The whole shebang. Oh, somebody said bang?
We need to get in with those guys, man. Next game here. Next game, a great one here. Snowhawks versus Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds are predicted to win by at least 4. Who you got? Did they cover the spread, or do you think the Snowhawks get the upset here?
I'm still very much on the fence about both of these teams. Like I said, not really about how good they, or about if they're good or not, but how good they can be. But I still think that the Thunderbirds are going to take this at home. It's Toronto. It's the Thunderbirds. How do you expect them to do anything but win the game? So I'm going to take the Thunderbirds, but I don't know if they're going to. I don't think they're going to cover the spread.
Yeah, man. I don't think the T-Birds are gonna cover the spread either. I don't trust the AI. Have I said that enough? I don't trust the AI with the Thunderbirds, man. So Jesus, take the wheel. Madden gods, take the wheel. I just don't trust the Thunderbirds on AI, man.
I haven't heard that reference in a while.
I got
songs
Seahawks
just hit me in my
upset.
head as soon as he said
I know.
that,
As
too.
soon as he said that, I started hearing Carrie Underwood just ringing in my ear.
Right.
I didn't even know that was her that sung it. Let me play it.
Yeah, well, I know things.
But yeah, so the next game, Red Dragons versus Bulldogs. We saw them play in the preseason, and it got pretty bad. But it's still the same scenario. Red Dragons predicted to win by at least 7.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I was surprised you put 7. That's everything on the Red Dragons.
You got the Monarchs out here just getting toasted in the spread against the Lancers. And the Red Dragons like, maybe a touchdown.
This is gonna be a good game, man. I don't know. I'm surprised you got that so low there, Smitty.
No disrespect. I just know you're in the chat.
Yeah, that's all good, Reed. I just don't look. The Bulldogs are just newly improved, and we have not seen them play yet in a full 4 quarters against a superior team. These are the Reload Bull champs. We got to put some respect on their name. I don't think that 7 points is enough others, but I understand why Smitty does that. And so, I'm heavily favored. I heavily favor the Red Dragons here, and put it all on the Red Dragons to win by more than 7 points. That's how I feel about
what
that.
I will say is this: I do still feel that the Bulldogs can be competitive in this game, and I don't want to. No, I honestly feel like that the Red Dragons, there's a good chance that they won't beat them by 7 points, because one thing I've been seeing is that this Bulldogs offense can score in a hurry. Now, we know about the defense of the Red Dragons being able to shut things down, but I also know that this Bulldogs offense is looking a little crazy, and I think that they might be able to hang in with the Red Dragons a little bit. So I honestly think that a 7-point spread, if the Red Dragons can win by a touchdown or more, then it makes sense. But I don't think that's all the way. Oh yeah, for sure, Red Dragons going to win by 7 points. I think that it could go either way.
So you think the London Bulldogs have a caliber offense that can that can go against the Red Dragons?
Yeah, I think they have a good enough offense, and I think their defense is solid enough to hold the Red Dragons to make it a manageable game to where it's not guaranteed that the Red Dragons are going to win by a touchdown or more. I think it will be something, it's a good chance that it could be within 7 points, but that's why I made the spread.
Okay.
Yeah, so next game, Voyagers and Celtic Tigers. Celtic Tigers are projected to win this one by 4. Who you got?
Bill has dropped out.
No, sorry, I sort of like fumbled my headset for half a second there. My bad.
Okay.
What was the spread on this game?
It's 4.
4
in favor of the Celtic Tigers.
No way, you wouldn't do that.
Who's the starter?
We are. I was about to say it too.
Oh man, no, I this is another tough one too, man, because I know that the Celtic Tigers are an all-around better team than the Voyagers, but I for one, sort of like Mix, have to side that maybe having a coach and a good one in Baker is going to benefit the Voyagers, and I'm still going to give the win to the Celtic Tigers, but I don't think they cover the spread.
I'm going to say, man, and I'm a little biased here because the Celtic Tigers are kind of in the same boat as the Thunderbirds. I don't really trust the AI with them, but I do trust the AI more with the Celtic Tigers than I do with the Thunderbirds simply because of the quarterback. And I think that Drake Coel obviously is the superior back between him and LC3 obviously. And so I trust that the AI is going to let Dre shine early and often. And so now the issue with that is that the Celtic Tigers are a very difficult team to beat for any coach. I'm not saying Baker can't get it done. He's made a lot of moves. But as you can see, the Davis and Tor, myself, what's his name, Frankie, you know what I mean? These guys, you can put up 30-something points on the Celtic Tigers, and they just somehow find some kind of way to melt down your team's helmets and win a game late in the game, man. I don't understand it, but your team stops tackling, they stop wanting to score touchdowns, and all of a sudden, this team just takes flight and it's over. So it's going to be a difficult game. I think. I don't think that the Voyagers are going to pull this out. I think that
you think they'll
you're
cover
better
4
off.
points?
Do I think that they'll cover the 4 points? You know what, man? Ooh, man, this is a tough one, man.
Isn't it?
Got to win by more than a field goal, man.
They got to win by more than a field goal. The Celtic Tigers. Yeah, man, I think the Celtic Tigers are going to win by more than a field goal in this game.
All right, next game, we got the Tigers versus the Explorers. We talked about the 17-point win that Monarchs did. You got the Explorers favored in this one by 14 to beat the Tigers.
Why do you got to put that on me, man? Like, why do you got to do that?
Hey, it's on you. What do you think? You think you're going to cover it or what?
I think we're going to win the game, but I'm not going to say that we're going to cover the spread. I'm not, because, and I'm not trying to be like a naysayer of my own team, but I fully believe that. And I know I'm not trying to make this into like a what kind of game Madden is thing, but I truly believe that there is some kind of setting in the franchises that when you play a division opponent, it does not matter the overall of that team to some degree, that they are going to make it more competitive because it is supposed to be a team that knows you better than others. So I don't see it being a blowout, is what I'm saying. I do think we win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we covered the spread. Sorry, but like I'm not betting on it. You know what I mean?
What is the point? What is it again, Smitty?
Explorers got to win by 14 or more points.
Man, I think that's a lot to put on them, man. And the reason why I say that is because even Bill says himself, he's worried about the quarterback play, and I hope that obviously Worrell obviously is starting, right, Bill? Not Cunningham or anything. Yeah. So hopefully Worrell is back to his form that he's supposed to be in. but I think 14 points is a lot. I don't know if we can't sleep on the defense of the Tigers. That's all I'm gonna say, man. You know what I mean? So, well, I'm gonna say that Explorers get it done, but I just can't say that 14 points right now. I don't know about 14 points.
See, I like
maybe
putting,
yeah.
I like putting the games in like a gray area where it's like
Yeah.
really hard to try to bet on. Now,
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
may be saying that 14 points is high, and I know Bill.
It seems like a
really
lot.
Feels like it's
Yeah.
a lot, but I honestly can definitely see an opportunity for the Explorers more than likely beating the Tigers by 2 touchdowns or more. So that's like, it's one of those bets like you can be like, oh, they're not going to cover the spread. I'm going to go with the Tigers, but then the Explorers get it. Because honestly, there's a good chance that the Explorers could beat the Tigers by 2 or more touchdowns in this game. Especially
There is, but man, it's just that division stuff, man. Rob, you know what I'm saying, man.
Oh
It's
no,
just
I know it.
You know,
You don't just blow out your division opponents unless you're the Cougars. You know.
Well, it depends, because I was going to say I've seen a lot
playing.
of division blowouts. Though. It's happened, so I understand that some games could be closer, but sometimes it also does depend on the level of the talent of the team. I mean, it's only going to help you out by so much if that is factual. I kind of do believe in that. I do think that they try to make the division games at least somewhat competitive, but I also feel that it's only going to do but so much. It's not going to do a lot to where it's really going to keep the games close if the talent is not on the same level. I honestly feel like the Explorers might wash the Tigers here in this game. Like, I mean, this is honestly how I feel about it. I think there's a good chance they could cover this spread, but I'm leaving that up to y'all to tell the community. Like you said, guys don't feel that they're going to. You know what? It is.
Let me put some respect on C.J. Robinson, man. Yo, I'm ready for C.J. Robinson to become Moss out here, Bill. What's going on, man?
I'm trying, man. All right.
Well, he was hurt last year.
What's going on, man?
Look, so last year before he got hurt, I had him working really well. I think he was averaging like 7 to 10 catches a game, 150 yards, and he was just all over the place. But then he got hurt. He was gone for 10 weeks.
For guys who don't know, C.J. Robinson, number 8, is a 26 overall, 6'4" wide receiver. What I said?
26 overall. 26
oh, my
years
bad.
older than me.
26 of age. My bad. Oh, Lord. Let's go. 99 overall. 99 overall. 95 speed. 97 Excelli. 94 short. 97 middle. 98 deep. 98 catch, 97 catch, 94 special, 93 jump, 94 release, 96 awareness, 96 agility, 96 change of direction, and 87 kick return. He is the full force. OMG.
Yeah,
and I'm just waiting for him to explode, man. I'm waiting for him to explode.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, I have been working for the last 3 months, and this is just for anybody listening who wants to hear about the little inside behind the scenes stuff with the Explorers. I have been going through every single playbook, all 32, multiple times. I have come down to a single book, and I have molded it to fit, hopefully, a bunch of CJ targets every game. I don't know if it's going to work, but from my early testing, which can only be taken so much because it's the non-RFL games, but it's been working. So hopefully we can do that and he doesn't get hurt again. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy.
Yo, Smitty, I'm just going to say this before you move on, Smitty. Mm-hmm. Luckily, Smitty came up with the rules about what we can upgrade, because I would just tell Bill to just upgrade for a year C.J. Robinson's throwing. Just put him at quarterback because he's that good. Just run Wildcat. That's all you got to run, man. Just run Wildcat, and you're gonna. I'm telling you, reloads after reloads, man. This guy's the full deal. Okay, I'm done, Smitty.
All right, so the next game we got on here is the Shamrocks versus the Condors, and the Shamrocks are predicted to win by 4. Will they cover their spread or not?
Yeah, I think so. I think they win and they cover the spread.
Shamrocks by 4.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
I like
Coach Laramie.
Man. I don't know.
Coach Laramie, man. Ray is gonna come alive. The running game is gonna blossom. Buki Johnson's gonna have a kick return to start the season off in fashion. And Chase McCoy is gonna get it done, man. I got a feeling.
Oh snap! There we go. All
right. So.
All right.
So I'm just betting on the Shamrocks because I know them.
So moving on to the Sunday slate of games, we got two here. Armadillos versus Riverhogs. Got the Riverhogs winning by 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Think that's it on this, huh?
It's over.
Yeah, that's
If
it.
Devin Wade might as well just go back to long shot. He's got a better chance of a career there, I think, at this point.
Okay, we'll see, man. Next game, the former San Antonio Marshals, now Orlando Wizards, will be traveling to Austin, Texas to take on the Desperados, where the Wizards are predicted to win by at least 5 points. Do they cover the spread or no?
I think they easily cover the spread.
Ooh.
The Wizards cover
Yeah.
the spread? Yeah. The Marshals. This is the
Yeah.
Marshals, not the
Yeah.
Wizards. I'm trying not to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
This is the Marshals. Put some respect on their name. They're gonna get it done. Tavion Hall, yeah, you're gonna probably have around a ball 72 or something like that. But I think it's gonna be an L for you guys, man. So that's just my thoughts.
Do you think they beat them by more than 5 though?
The Wizards beat. Yeah, I think they beat them by more than 5. Yeah.
Okay. And then the final game, we got the Steamers versus the Gunners, and the Gunners are expected to win the final game of this week by a field goal. You think they'll do that?
Let me mess with Justin. Jabri's the GOAT. Jabri's gonna destroy the Steamers. Because Jabri is the GOAT. He's better than Drake Howell. If he's better than Drake Howell, then, well, hey, he's going to destroy the Steamers, because we all know Drake Howell can destroy the Steamers, right? So if Drake Howell can destroy the Steamers, then Jabri, because Jabri is the man. So Jabri Jackson is going to have 35 points against the Steamers. They're going to get blown out. And he got Can, and he got Scruggs out there, and it's going down. Steamer Town, it's going down. Get ready.
So y'all both got Gunners winning and covering the spread of 3 points?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be more than 3 points, man. Put all your money on the Gunners, man.
You know what, man? I'm not gonna do it. I think the Gunners are gonna do it.
All right. So that's what
Sorry,
we got.
Justin. I'm sorry. It's just I gotta do it.
He said on Justin here tonight. But yeah, man, we got that's that whole slate of games is just, I can't wait to see them all. This whole first week is a bang. A lot of great games, a lot of great matchups. Can't wait to see that, man. Make sure you guys tune in. Y'all see the times. This is also on the website. Once again, relocationfootballleague.com. Make sure to check us out on our website there, and look at the future upcoming weeks, which we'll be covering in the next podcast from here on out anyway. But let's go ahead and finally get to the topics, man. We went through the scheduling and everything. I know we was having a lot of fun, though, man. I think we had a lot of fun so far today. Let's talk about Marquise Washington. Rob was already excited and amped up about Marquise Washington being able to play. I mean, that's a lot of respect for this guy, even as a division rival, you know. But Marquise Washington, we already know the deal, how great he was in Florida. He looked great in the preseason. Coach back names him the starter. I just want to get you guys' thoughts. Also, to give a shout out to Coach Back for this graphic, man. Just wanted to go ahead and post it up.
Oh yeah, it was awesome, man.
Pretty nice job
making that, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, man, what do you guys think about this going down? What do you think about him starting, and do you think he's going to have a successful season for the Aviators?
Yes, I think so, because I think it was like just 2 podcasts ago, I went into this big talk about why this is the guy you have to start. And I'm living by that statement I made. This is the guy who, in every aspect of the game at this point, I think is already on the same level, if not better, than Russell Rennis. And he is much younger. He's got the X factor. You got to start him. This is the best move for the organization. And I think if they make some noise this year, even with their tough division, if they are able to put together some games and really start making some noise in the ARC, it is solely because of the difference in quarterback play. And also, of course, the coaching. The coaching makes a difference. I don't like the AI.
Yeah.
Just like Rob said, I'm not a big fan of the AI because I don't know if it can really do the things that a coach can do.
One thing I want to say even on that, I do feel like the team is more at a disadvantage with the AI, but I just always wanted to put out there and mention that you can never sleep on the AI, because if they end up putting the right training for that week, and you got to play this team at its best, then it's over. You know, that's the main point I was trying to say. Like, I do feel that teams are less likely to, be all the way consistently successful without a coach. But I would never sleep on an AI team, because you don't know what that training is going to do and how those players are going to play.
I totally agree.
I agree with that. Yeah.
What do you think about this, Rob?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm just being totally honest here, guys. Man, I'm just happy because for the storyline, man.
Yeah.
I know I want to win a Reload Bowl. I want to go to the playoffs, but I got to be realistic, man. That's tough, man. It took a lot for what Kozira did with the Thunderbirds. It took a lot. What Bill's doing with the Explorers, it took a lot. What Davis did, with the Red Dragons, it took a lot. And what Coach Tor did, with his team, those are guys like guys I look up to in the league, with their teams and stuff. What he did with the Sentinels, it's a lot, man. And so, with that said, I just want to see I want to see a good storyline between Gino and Marquise Washington, and it starts this season. I don't want it to start next season, right? And Gino have the upper hand. I want to see how they stack up against each other because of the storyline that we've been following for 2 years now, right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I want to see that stack up. I want the fans to be happy about seeing that stack up. I want to see what my opponent is because this is the guy I'm facing for years to come. I'm not facing Russell Renez. He's done after this season, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to see Marquise how he stacks up. Their team. A lot of people probably don't realize this. We'll get into it more, but the Cougars are entering into maybe this could be the last year of prominence for a little while, and we're going to go into a rebuild mode simply because of guys we have to cut and stuff like that. And so, like, we're actually kind of about to maybe take a dip back down, kind of to. And I'm not talking down to you, Coach, but I'm saying we might actually be the same overall as the Aviators next year, with just 2 solid quarterbacks and some decent guys around us, right? So it's going to be interesting, So I got to see my opponent, man, So I'm happy with that this year. I want to compete at the highest caliber, man. I don't want to be beating up on Russell Renez, you know what I'm saying? Every game because I'll do it, Smitty. The boogeyman laugh.
Now I think you'd even though I say not to sleep on, it's no AI. So you got to coach, but Russell Rennes. I just think that he's not the future. No point of going with him now. And you got this talented quarterback just sitting there. You could and Bill even brought this up that I wasn't even thinking about earlier when he was talking about there's development regression now. So if he was to sit and lose that X factor, that's just damaging the entire storyline with this kid and how great he could be. And like you said, everyone wants to see this storyline. It's not about the storyline. Of course, you play the guy that gives you the best chance to win. But this is much different from Devin Holbert and Joseph Torres, from at the time, Eric Fisher and Chase Mason. Like, this is much different due to the fact that Marquise Washington already is the higher overall. He just came into the league, an X factor. He can easily, if given the time, which he should get, which we see now he is getting, be the quarterback, like you mentioned earlier, that could be a 99 overall quarterback in the future. We already know that even Geno Gannon can get in that same category. If you give Geno Gannon a 1-year head start, then you finally throw him in there, he's just not going to catch up, and you're going to have to worry about that being behind in the division between those two from that point. So this was the best decision for the Aviators to make in terms of a successful season. I do think that they're going to have a successful season, man. They only won 1 game last year in RFL terms, by 1 point to the Pioneers. All right. Yeah. And Bill just brought up talking about the quarterback play. It was the quarterback play, in all honesty, and we know that he wasn't schemed and everything. It was the quarterback play that made the Aviators lose all of those games. Because for anybody who's been following RFL football for years, or have been even watching Aviators games, the Aviators have been a tough team to beat for years. That last season was the worst season they've ever had. And the year before that, they made it to the playoffs. Yeah, they got washed in the first round by the Cougars. But at the end of the day, this is a team that has the talent. They now have the franchise quarterback. This was the best decision to make, not only for the team, but for the entire RFL community to watch this unfold, man. Like I said, we've been waiting for this for 2 years. 2 years. It's only right we get to see these guys play each other 2 times in 1 year. It should go down. So I mean, this is just great, man. I'm glad to see that this is happening. Can't wait to see what he does.
Yo, shout out to Mitch, man. Yo, Mitch says those one-liners, man. He said, "Hey, beat the Pioneers on Facebook." That's how pathetic. How pathetic that is.
You had to throw the Facebook in there, man. Damn.
Right.
Okay, here's something.
Was
Though.
on
I want to
Facebook,
say
though.
this because I want guys to remember I said this because I think this is going to happen. I think what we're about to witness is the next league's like Drake Howell, Joseph Gidley, Jack Winkler quarterbacks in Washington and Gannon. I think these two guys are going to be the next guys in the GOAT conversation in 10 years when we look back on this. And it's like to see that we're about to watch this start and play out is just, it's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
And the crazy thing about it that's going to be so hard is that these guys can never meet each other in a Reload Bowl. They're going to be in the same division fighting to get to the playoffs. And even if they do get at the top of their peak, somebody's got to get knocked out for the other to go to the Reload Bowl. So, I mean, I think it's just going to be just straight rivalry matchup after matchup. It's just going to be great to watch, man.
Hey, shout out to Leo, man, but trust me, bro, there's not a trade at all for Russell Renez. The RFL is stacked. Go check the daddy leagues.
and Justin, I'm not talking about just a GOAT conversation. I'm talking about like these 99 quarterbacks that can just mess any team up that they play. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I don't like Winkler may not be in a GOAT conversation, but he's definitely up there, like in terms of a great quarterback throughout his tenure. Quarterback. Yeah, he's a beast.
He got he
I think he got shafted. Yeah, he got shafted. Roland admitted it too.
Can you say that?
Yeah, shafted. I don't think it's a bad word.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. He got shafted, man. Honestly, I don't even know if that really means anything like that vulgar. So I might as well just not even use it.
But it does mean something terrible. Smitty.
It does. All right, so we'll leave that out. We'll leave that out.
I'm pretty sure we can use that term in another way, but I don't know if we can now.
Yeah, I'm gonna look this up.
I'm hanging around old people, man.
No, I just hear people say that all the time, so I figured it was cool. I figured it was basic lingo when somebody gets screwed over or something. That's what I thought.
Yeah, you got two. You said screwed over.
Yeah, you're getting screwed over or something. Yeah.
Whoa, Smitty, whoa.
That's bad.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it is bad.
What? Screwed over is bad.
What it means after
I mean, I know what screwed over means, but like I thought that was a more PG-13 way of saying screwed over. Like you don't want me to say the other one,
Well, ZK, close your ears right now, man. Close your ears right now, buddy.
Yeah, shit, I was using this at the age of 3. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, let's just go move on. I don't feel.
OG Smitty, man. OG Smitty.
Let's go to the.
That's what we need next, man. We need a dolphin thing for the chat.
Yeah.
I
didn't even know what that was when I saw people putting that in the thing. So I thought about SpongeBob.
Did you ever see that long conversation we had that one day where we were saying, let's wait to see what Smitty thinks about all this?
No, I was looking at the Dolphins, but I didn't think it was something bad.
I told you guys he wouldn't know what he was looking at.
Like I know what. Like at first when I seen it, I didn't know like what the Dolphins was. I'm like, why is these guys putting dolphins in this sentence like and missing words? But then after like I put it together and I was just like, oh, that's SpongeBob. I didn't think it was bad even after figuring out that that's what it was.
Oh man,
kind of like the screwed over thing I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't think it like a part they're fine, but like the way you say it. Shafted and then it was screwed over like all together. It was just like we're over here what it means like on the not so great side.
But I'm pretty sure there's so many ways to say what you really mean to say that's not that bad. So I didn't think it was that bad. So
it's an in general term, but I was making a joke out of it.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this trade. This was a huge trade that literally just went down today. So we already knew a little bit of the struggles going on with Kyle Bain, the former Season 3 Reload Bowl champion who took over for LC3 after he got injured and took the Thunderbirds on to win the championship over the Sentinels. He got traded the following year to go to the Elks, and he spent 2 seasons here. Now here he is getting traded from the Elks to the Desperados for Eric Fisher. So this is, I honestly feel, let's also talk about the story of Eric Fisher too, because Eric Fisher started out in Season 3 as well with Kyle Bain. He won the Offensive Rookie of the Year that season in the RFL. The following year, he had a terrible sophomore slump, and then he got replaced and benched in Season 5 by Chase Mason, and he still could not beat Chase Mason out for the job during the preseason. We saw how that performance went. But Coach O'Neill felt that the turnover issue with Kyle Bain was just too much. It was time to move on, looked around for a quarterback. And even though Eric Fisher was struggling, having his issues during the preseason, he feels that he's the quarterback that could take this team and lead them offensively more better than Kyle Bain can. And so with that being said, with this trade going down, what is your whole thoughts on this? Do you think this will be successful for the Elks? And do you think, because Kyle Bain will not be starting for the Desperados, but do you think because more than likely Chase Mason's going to be gone, is Kyle Bain the future for the Desperados?
You want my like raw serious thoughts on this?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the equivalent to swapping out deck chairs on the Titanic. I'm just being honest. Honestly, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but let's be honest. Man, Eric Fisher came out here and he absolutely just, you know what? I don't have to say the word. We all know what word I was going to say. Dolphin. And
Oh man.
Kyle Bain, and I still don't know what happened with Kyle Bain, because while the team itself struggled last year, Kyle Bain was not bad last year. He was actually part of the reason the offense was good for the Elks. So I don't know what happened between now and then for Kyle Bain to fall off this bad, but I do know that Eric Fisher already lost his job, couldn't get it back, and then followed that up by coming out here and completely just solidifying the case as to why he should not start over an aging guy who has never really done a whole lot in the league in Chase Mason. No disrespect to Mason, but let's just be honest. It's not like he's one of these high caliber quarterbacks. He never really was. But to me, I just think that this isn't really going to help either team. Maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. I hope you do, but I don't see Eric Fisher being a savior, because if he was a savior, he's got some great tools in Austin that he could have used to be a savior there. And I just don't know what's wrong with Kyle Bain right now, but I don't think it's time for just cashing in on him and put him back on the bench for Chase Mason. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, man. The only thing that I saw when I saw this the other day is that I guess Eric Fisher has over Bain because they're the same age. Which is so funny. The story was these guys. I had just woken up and I'm in the chat and I'm Smitty's like showing the trade and everything and build. Everybody's like, oh, I agree, and I get kind of teed off a little bit because I'm like, why are we trading Bain for Fisher? What's going on here? I don't understand this. And I'm just going to my normal mixed rant, right, about this, not even realizing that these guys are the same age. For some reason, I thought that Kyle Bain was like this much better than Eric Fisher and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? And I didn't even realize that they're like the same age. And then so I'm looking at this and I'm comparing them. I'm like, oh, sorry guys, yeah, okay, go ahead and let the trade go, because it's pretty even to me. The only thing, the difference between these two, is that Fisher is a star dev and Bain is not. And then there's a little bit of an upside for, I guess, for O'Neal in the fact that the awareness of Fisher is at is 4 or 5 higher. It's like 74 to 69. Fisher, and then at the other side of things is that Fisher does the play action a little bit better, but he just doesn't break sacks as good. So in my opinion, it's like what Bill says. This is like swapping out your lawn chairs on your deck or whatever. You know what I mean? And so yeah, he's got a nice star on this guy. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of was just like a little bit of appalled at it though, because like I understand that Kyle Bain. I understand the issues that we have with Kyle Bain. I still, look at Kyle Bain as this is not a user member, right? This is a generic Kyle Bain.
Yeah,
he's not like
was he submitted? I think he was submitted, and his guy never showed up, and he went undrafted.
So he's done. He
was
dead.
late pick,
yeah.
I think, for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah. And Fisher the same way, right? He's just a quarterback.
Oh, Fisher is a submitted player.
He's a submitted player. He used
to show up in games.
Okay.
I haven't seen him around for a while, but he was drafted too, I believe, in the early round. So he had a lot of clout around him when he first came in the league.
Yeah, I just have to give a little bit of respect to the former Elks coach, Coach Marshall, because he had Bain. He had Bain doing some phenomenal things that we saw, and I get it that Bain, people want to call him terrible and stuff like that. guy's only 23 and he's a 79 overall, man. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, if I'm just putting myself in the Elks position, this may have been a guy that I would have used my coach incentive on. You know what I mean? To maybe build around. And I probably would have tried to push this guy up because, like I say, he's 79 overall and he's 23 already. And there are some things you could actually upgrade with this guy, but maybe that's not what that coach wants to do. So I was cool with it. You know, it's fine. But I just hope Fisher is not who. I hope he's not who we thought he was from this preseason. This just might be a huge mistake by the Oaks.
Yeah. So first off, since the Desperados didn't have a coach, Coach O'Neal needed to come to me. Now, at first when I saw this, I was just like, I didn't mind doing the trade. I mean, I don't see nothing, I guess, wrong with the value of both because they both were kind of stinking it up. But in terms of, I said, look, I'll let it happen. But I feel like, for one, the community might look at this and just be like, what are you doing? Another is, you better hope this is successful because this is going to count towards you as a coach. Like you said, Kyle Bain, last year, Marshall had some things going, and he was pretty much the main reason on why their offense was successful.
Oh, yeah.
Now you get rid of him. He had turnover issues a little bit then, but it was way less compared to what we've seen, and we only saw preseason games. I think that this year of Madden, though, is just, and I see this in these players over the years, is that there are certain Maddens where a player just won't be the same. I feel like that's an effect that's something that had an effect on certain players. Like one I can think of on the Elks is Darius Martin. I feel like he didn't really play up to his caliber. There's nothing wrong with him at all in terms of the scheme and all that other stuff. He just didn't play well on that Madden. In this Madden, I don't think it favors Kyle Bain and his scrambling. You're going to get more turnovers, I feel, with him. And so that's just what comes with him. And I can understand why O'Neal feels like that's going to be a burden and we need to move on from him. But going to get Eric Fisher, though, after seeing what he did in the preseason, I don't know if that's going to work because what are you going to say?
Bro, let me fact check this real quick, Smitty. Go. You can finish what you're gonna say.
Let me finish this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just don't think that Eric Fisher is going to be that much of an upgrade. I do think that he may run the offense a little bit more efficiently, but now you're losing explosion of big plays that could possibly happen with Kyle Bain. So I honestly feel like this trade-off is pretty much just flat even. So it's either it works or it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's going to be a pretty bad look for the Elks.
I'm going to leave y'all with this, Jim, man. I just deep dived into this. It's a fact that Eric Fisher has less toughness than LC3. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, but what's the injury?
His injury is 91. No, wait, let me see. 83. Hold on, let me check that. Let me go back and check. Hold on, let me check this. Because the toughness is, let me go back. Hold on, let me go back and make sure.
Yeah, the good thing, like Justin says in the chat, though, he's not a scrambler, so he might still have less chances of getting injured.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me check this out.
And then just to answer the question for M. Wheaton, who says something about how we carry the rosters through each Madden. We literally rebuild every individual player down to every attribute that they carry. So like these two guys you see up on the screen right now, Eric Fisher and Kyle Bain, they have the same kick power and kick accuracy that they did last year. We don't play around with that stuff.
Everything gets transferred.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm just still getting here to this. Let me just check this real quick just to make sure. What is the injury? Okay, the injury. Now the injury is 92.
Oh yeah,
the injury is 92.
He'll be straight. It's just that if he gets injured, if it's serious, then he's going to be out for some.
Yeah, he's out. He's done. Yeah.
So I don't think he will. He's not too much of a high risk because he's not a scrambler. So I don't think that'll be a bad department to him. I just feel like his play is.
Well, wasn't he running because of the Elks line? Is the Elks line good?
Well, you're talking about the Kyle Bain, right?
Eric Fisher.
Eric Fisher is he came from the Desperados.
Yeah, but is the Elks line good though? Their offensive line.
I don't think. I think they got a. Nah, I don't think it's that great.
That's why Kyle Bain was running.
I think Bain was going to run regardless.
Okay.
because that's just what he does. But that
Let's see
definitely
what they
plays
got,
a
though.
factor in it too.
Actually, Justin says the line is really good.
Let's
Okay.
see.
It's
They
really
have
good.
an
Change it then.
85
thought
left
they-
tackle. They have an 82 left guard.
Oh,
Yeah,
Center,
they're straight.
80 right guard. 75.
Yeah, they're
or
pretty good.
79.
Well,
Oh, they
why
have a
were
good.
they? Why were
Yeah,
they
they
terrible
got a good
last
line.
year? Was that the same line? I don't get that.
Interesting.
Well, if they play anything like last year, that's not good. But
Yeah.
that's
Well, the good thing, the upside to this is that he's got the star dev, man. That's always a positive because
Yeah.
putting him on progression, he should be able to move up pretty fast in some of these basic categories here.
and that's the main reason on why Eric Kyle Bain is not going to be just coming over here Desperados taking Mason's spot. For one, we saw Mason, he's still putting in work. But Kyle Bain, normal dev, just think about it. Normal dev guy, he's not going to develop real fast. So he's pretty much going to be stagnant this year. There's no reason on really getting him involved starting anyway over Mason because Mason's efficient, and putting him in there, he does bring those turnover issues. That also can take away from Tavion Hall running the ball. It can also take away from his wide receivers out there they got. Mason is going to be the guy to take advantage of those opportunities. Now, if there was a lower overall guy or something, or if it was a starting quarterback for a starting quarterback switch, then I could see Kyle Bain, starting. But in this situation, the reason why he's here is that's why I asked, do you feel that after this year, he's going to be higher than Chase Mason? He will get that opportunity to start. He'll still have to prove it, of course, if Mason stays, which I doubt he does. I know Mason was signed on that long contract, but I don't think his age and everything's going to outlast that at all. So he's most likely going to retire and leave next year. Kyle Bain, do you think he's the guy for the Desperados? That was the other part of the question on this.
I think he can be. We know that he can lead a team to the promised land. We know that he can make plays on his own. He did last year. We just don't know why he's not working this year right now. So I think he still can be.
And that's a big reason why I think it was a pretty decent move, because this Madden I don't think is great for him. We don't know what next year's Madden does. He might actually be great.
I think we also have no clue what he is going to be this year. We haven't played a real game yet. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but what I already see though is, and this is with it's not even just him. One thing I've noticed is that scrambler quarterbacks are going to bring some elite explosion, but I think they come with a lot of issues this year. If you got a scrambling quarterback, be prepared to fumble that rock quite a few times. It's going to happen. And you got to be able to bounce back, or have the team to bounce back from that. And so that's the issue, like, you got to carry with a player like that. And that's why I feel like Kyle Bain, honestly, he could still have a great year, but I feel that they could lose games because of that play. So that's how I feel on it. Anything else? All good?
No, man, we're all good. Yep.
All right, then. Let's go ahead and move on to this final topic before we start talking about, I guess we already a little over 2 hours. So, but anyway, the last big trade that we had go through was Trey Dawkins, starting former Pro Bowl linebacker for this Portland Snowhawks, getting traded to the Diablos for former Pro Bowl lineman Dylan Rollins. Used to be a former Explorer where he started his career. He's an 87 overall. And Trey Dawkins is a 92. And that's the reason why the Diablos gave up a fourth, also to compensate for not only the rating, but also the age, because Rollins is over 30 and Trey Dawkins is 26. So decent trade. They couldn't really land on negotiations between the two. They felt, hey, let's just trade these guys. They traded with each other. What do you guys think about the trade?
I hate Madden, man.
Yeah. I like the trade to some degree.
Madden,
My only concern is, for in this situation, like, I feel like both teams ended up with a player that can help them right away. But which team has the depth to replace what they're losing? And to me, I don't know if there's a lineman that the Diablos have that can replace what Rollins did, because Rollins is by far their best lineman, very close to Kevin Bruce and even to Kobe Drones, but Dylan Rollins is the leader of that line, and he is the best of the linemen they have. And I just don't know if they have guys to fill in for him. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see that for sure. And we know that Aaron Pritchett is not exactly a mobile quarterback, so they have to be able to protect him. So that's to me is going to be interesting. Overall, I like the move because the Diablos are already in a spot where we know they probably, I mean, they could because we know they have the talent, but going off of the last 2 years, they haven't been a team that we're expecting to make a run to the Reload Bowl. They have the ability to try to move these older guys to bring in new guys to help them into the next phase, which is the Coach Forbes phase and what he wants to do with the team. So for that aspect, I love it. For the Snowhawks, it's just an unfortunate situation in the game of football with finances is you can't afford everybody. And I think that's what it's coming down to for this. They saw a way to be able to maybe go into even more win now mode and shore up the offensive line, and they went and got the guy they needed for it. So I like it.
Yeah, man. I'm just kind of on the fence about it. I don't think the trade hurt anybody. Obviously the Snowhawks are just looking to they got the pass protector that they desired. You know, he's 32 years of age, so it is what it is. You know, the next season, get a couple of years out of him. I guess. You know, I don't know, maybe a few more years. Should be okay. They got the 4th round pick and everything. I kind of thought maybe the Snowhawks should have got a little bit more, man, because but it just depends on who's viewing this. I value the linebacker position, man, and Dre Dawkins, man, is a stud, man. You know what I mean? I wanted to put another word in front of that. I'll just say dolphin. He's a dolphin stud, man. And I just don't know, man. I mean, I'm a little salty. It's not Mitch's fault because he couldn't afford him, but I'm a little salty that he had to get rid of a 26 overall, 88, player, X factor, linebacker. We know how much linebackers mean in this game. I'm salty he had to get rid of him for a blocker. I'm just being totally honest, man. I've got a 76 lineman or something like that, or whatever, 79 line, whatever he is, and he can block just as good. You know what I mean? And so I'm just salty, man. You know what I mean? I'm salty that Mitch had to do that. EA, fix it, man. It's just fix the money, man. This is nuts. Like I don't know if y'all did y'all not feel that pain, man? Like seeing Dre Dawkins being traded for a lineman. You know what I mean? Like something just isn't right. Something's that 32 overall lineman at that. Like there wasn't anything else he could really get out of that situation. I don't know, man. I'm just a little salty, man. But yeah, that's my take on it, man. It's good. I'm not saying the ruling was bad. You know what I mean? Smitty, I'm just saying that it's just like it's terrible, man. You know what I mean?
It's always tough to see players leave, and that's the biggest thing. Like I've been in multiple arguments with these guys. For the guys who are watching, I value legacy of players. I love having players stay on the teams that they came from, actually having a career if they're that great to stay on the team and retire with that team. But it came to reality. We had a meeting, talked about a few days ago. This stuff. I understand people talk. Rob talking about the money situation and everything. But when I look back in this and looked at the teams who were having this issue, you have to make these sacrifices, man. It's just going to make these teams too OP in the future. This also is going to open up a lot in the future, in the near future at that, for the rookies who are coming in to be able to have an opportunity to land on a roster spot and possibly play. Now, for me, I've had the biggest, the hardest time trying to part ways with guys who are great like this, leaving their team. And I just love seeing guys who are great staying with their team, and teams got to figure whatever out that they need to figure out to keep the guy on the team. But as Bill and Rob broke down to me before, is that hurts the team in some cases, and probably most cases. Especially if you can't afford him, you got a young guy, you don't want to give the young guy up. He could be the next future. So this honestly is also going to bring a lot to the league too, in terms of great news for people to be interested in and seeing some guys move around. Now we're still not about to have guys just going all over the place getting traded and stuff. That's definitely all in place. But if it makes sense, I now think that it should happen. Dre Dawkins, moving to the Diablos, man. I think that the Diablos now just got a heck of a lot scarier on defense. With him over the middle. It's ridiculous. And it's also a good move for the Snowhawks, man, for this year. Because now you got somebody protecting Mr. G. I think that, it's a great trade-off. You just hate to see a great guy go, though.
But does he really? Does he really need? Did he really need another protector for Mr. G? Being he's a 99 overall.
You never know,
Speedy.
man.
Do you think?
You never know. He could be better with that protector, though. You know, you won't see it. You won't necessarily see it, but I'm pretty sure if you watch the season or something, like throughout this season, you see him blocking. He might have more time.
Can I read it to the chat real quick?
Yeah.
29 X Factor, 99 overall, 99 awareness, 96 deep accuracy, 99 middle, 99 short, 91 throw power, 92 throw on the run, 88 play action, 82 speed, 89 acceleration, 92 throw under pressure, 81 break sack, and these are the abilities. Pro reads, inside dead eye, pocket dead eye, clutch, sideline dead eye, and protected.
Well, one thing I will say with that is even he can have all of that, but if you can give a guy like that even more time in the pocket, how do you stop that? You know, now it's almost hard to even way harder to stop him now that he can stay in the pocket with no problem. You know, so like, and I know that maybe he didn't really need an extra lineman, but that's what that gives now. Now it gives him the ability to really pick you apart when you may have good coverage, and you just now you can't cover those guys for too long because now he's in there cocooned up.
Well, with protected, man, he's definitely going to activate that X factor of Rollins.
And I think that was the logic of the move, which I think is is beneficial to both sides. I like the trade. But yeah, that's it for the main topics we had to cover, and we kind of ran over the time. Bill, it's up to you guys. Do you guys still want to talk about potential rumors that's been going around, or do you guys want to just close it out?
Think there's a whole lot more that we really have to go over. I know I saw Christian Williams or Al All Day, depending on which username I know he's both the same guy, but he was asking about the CJ situation before. No, I have not paid CJ Robinson yet. I am still going through the motions of trying to figure out how to make it work for the best. But everybody has to remember this, okay? I'm trying my best to make it work. But there is 22 starters.
Yeah, facts.
And I have to make sure that in 4 years, I can still put a roster together if I need to. That does not mean I'm not signing him. But I'm just saying I have a lot to think about in terms of the amount of money he's asking and if I can afford it with the group of guys that I'm going to have to repay and also the new guys I'm going to be bringing in the next couple of years. And this is the kind of decisions we got to make. So I don't know yet. I honestly I have no answer for you yet.
Yeah, I mean, just how crazy would that be with him in the freeze?
Yeah.
Smitty,
I can go in here real quick and just go down these if you want me to. The rumors.
Well, yeah, we could talk
just
about
real,
them. Yeah.
Yeah. What time? 8:30, 9:30. Oh yeah. Oh wait. 8. What time is it? 8:30. Oh, it's almost 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you still can. Let me see. I'm trying to find a.
So, I'll just read them off real quick. Looks like the Forbes is close to a deal with Piku. 5 years, 120. Not sure if he signed that.
Well, instead of reading them, because I think it's some that we have to like leave, so it's not like everything, so that we can have out there for old boy to use. So.
All right. Oh yeah, I see. So he can release those on his own. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do we want to? All right. Well, let's go. This is official though. Let's go to the official one.
We could also. I know he did one about the Dreadnoughts, and I know he did the one with CJ, and I know he did. So I can't remember which else one he did, but I think that was the only couple that he's.
Oh, I see. So those. Okay. Yes. Never mind then. Never mind, because these are all fresh. This is like a lot of fresh.
Yeah.
Right here.
We might as well leave because we've already been pretty long anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah. What you about to say, Bill?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's it, man. Well, I guess you guys, since it's going to make an even time, I guess we got some time for open questions.
Yeah.
Close out. At 11.
Just made sure to remind us. Go figure. Justin's trying to push the Steamers into the conversation.
What do you say?
No, but one thing that if somebody in the chat does not know is that Justin was the first coach to bite the bullet on the overinflated wide receiver contracts, and he inked Romeo Jackson to a new 5-year deal for $115 million today.
I'm worried about my man. No, I think he did the right thing, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
Romeo's
look, that's the luxury that Justin Jones has when you build your team from like scratch with all rookies, and he's got all those guys on these cheap deals, right? So he can afford to spend 115 million because by the time that fully matures, his guys will just be coming into like some real money after their years. So I thought that's good for him, man. I wish I had 115 million to sign my stud, but hats off to him for getting it done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure, Frankie, that he's going to ask for the same exact amount of money that all of our current really high overall receivers are asking.
Yeah, just know free agency is about to be crazy. Yep, Frankie. I can't imagine what Cameron Jones will ask for either.
He's honestly, well, what is his overall? What's Cameron's
I
I
overall?
don't think it's that
Freakishly-
high though. It's like
freakishly
I don't think he's gonna
85.
ask for much. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
he's gonna
not
ask
gonna
for
ask
more
for
than
too
Romeo or
much.
CJ.
Yeah, he might not.
Yeah. So
No, I'm not throwing shade at him. I'm just saying overalls matter. Like
But
in
he's
Madden,
got-
it's pretty much your age and your overall.
yeah, he's got two more years on his contract though too, don't he?
Yeah. So who
Yeah,
knows?
so he'll be up there by that time. Better try to make space for him now.
Cougars going into a recession, man. We're going to a recession, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Like it's really hard for us coaches that have a lot of talent on our team right now. And yeah, it sounds like the rich crying because they have a rough go of it for a little bit. But like honestly, like I like when it comes down to like me and Rob's situation, when we're trying to find ways to make these deals happen. I have I think 10 starters that I have to re-sign in the next 2 years. I'm sure Rob has plenty of guys that are key pieces to the future of the Cougars and also the present team of the Cougars that he has to re-sign. So like it's easy for the community to say you can't not sign them. You have to make it work. But when you think about the future of a team, like there's so many guys on a team, you can't base it all off of a player, no matter how good they are. And let's be honest, man, in my situation, I don't know, man. I went almost undefeated without CJ last year. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but sometimes you have to look at the whole pie and not just a piece of it. You know what I mean?
All I'm gonna say, man, let him drop out of there, man.
Oh boy.
Let that boy drop out of there.
Here's something for you guys.
Woo.
Now that the bunch of the CPU teams can actually catch up to the rest of the league. Now Smitty's okay with all these guys not staying on their teams.
Oh yeah. Now
Hey, I'm cool
Def-
with it now because y'all
death
had the
to the Cougars.
conversation. Y'all did. Hey, man.
Uh,
I was in favor of trying to have the dudes, keep guys and stuff. But I mean, it makes sense. You got to move on, man. So CPU dudes, man. I looked at the CPU. Honestly feel like it's only a few teams like you guys, of course, that got OP guys that are really getting hit with the situation. But as I looked at the other teams and stuff like that, it really was like guys can sign back most of the guys that they need, that have been impact players. And just let a few guys go, who maybe was getting on or something, but they're old. So honestly, it's not impacting heavy around the league, but yeah, it's definitely hitting you guys. So yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna need 13 players. I'm gonna need 13 players out the draft. I'm just letting y'all know it's already been done. Oh, Smitty, Cougars have some news too, man. I got some new staff hirings, but I think I'm gonna make a little small graphic
Okay.
for that. I might wait till next podcast so you can reveal that. But
Okay,
I got two new staff members from the community, directly from the community, man. So yeah.
I think I need some staff members too, man. I got Noah for like the team stuff, but man, I feel like I want somebody to just handle all like the social media stuff, man. This is too much for me. I got too much crap to do.
Shout out to Coach Klein, man, putting them his guys out there, making them.
Oh yeah,
graphic
Coach Klein,
stuff.
yeah.
Getting
Saw that
ball
man.
rolling.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully it gets other coaches, doing the same. I see you guys already looking to try to do that as well.
Oh, hey,
Looking toward-
real quick before we leave, man.
Yeah, lazy
Coach
bones.
K's in the chat. He said that Duke Pascal wants 115 million and Robert Staymates wants 85.
Rest in peace. What an organ at, Smitty? Go ahead and play the organ. I saw it yesterday.
Oregon? I mean,
You have an organ? I thought you had an organ sound on your.
Nah, I played the bell though. I at least could do that.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be it, man. Really great podcast. Appreciate you guys coming through. A lot of great information we gave out to you guys. Great in depth for week 1, man. And week 1 starts tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. Cougars versus Huskies. Must-see football at 6 p.m. Eastern and at 8 p.m. Eastern. Once again, a little quick look at the schedule. Bulls and Miners got to come through. Start of the season is right here, right now. You don't want to miss it. But that being said, it's your boy Smitty, RFL Commissioner, play-by-play commentator, along with Rob and Bill. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.